First weekend of Phillies baseball in the books. They take 2 of 3 in D.C. against the Nationals. Today, I want to do a daily poll, Johnny, but not on Twitter.
Oh, that's good.
With you personally. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
This is Kincade and Salciunas.
My gut instinct is they're going to be good, but it almost feels like it's all or nothing this year. Bryce Harper's still going to be good this year.
90 games should be your floor when you have this much talent, this much pitching. This is a vibe of box ticket.
Kincade and Salciunas. John Kincade, Andrew Salciunas.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
And a good Monday morning, Philadelphia. I'm Andrew Salciunas alongside my man, John Kincade. Johnny, welcome back.
Welcome to the second opening day.
Yes, home opener today.
Home opener.
Weather looks like it's going to be good, we think.
So just like gusty winds and tornado warnings coming up around dinner time.
That's all, as long as the rain doesn't hit till post-game. They don't cancel games because of wind.
They build an open day on the schedule. So that way, if there's any danger of opening day being bad weather, they can move it. So tomorrow is perfect. Perfect weather.
Yeah.
Today, there are literally going to be isolated tornado warnings at dinner time.
Might make the ball go farther.
And they're going to play the game today.
Oh, man.
Stop doing the open day. It doesn't make sense now. Just stop doing the open day.
They're saying
because
the rain
you're not using it.
They're saying the rain won't start till 7 o'clock now, which will be after the game comes to an end.
It could be when people are driving home.
Yeah, well, they're not thinking about that. They're
not worried about that.
Thought about a game being canceled because of the transportation back home.
How about worried about your fan base and just it's a perfect day tomorrow?
Yeah, well, they're not.
Well, Andrew's going to tell everyone to drive safe to work and the Phillies home opener.
and to drive home safe today after the Phillies game.
If you hear the siren, it's not a fire truck.
It's a home run being hit.
Please.
Whatever. They're probably playing new sounds when home runs are hit at Citizens Bank Park.
Winds 15 to 20 miles an hour.
Anyways, opening day home opener today for the Philadelphia Phillies. But we got to see our first 3 games of the season when they were in D.C. against the Nationals. Johnny was there at the game Saturday. We'll get his firsthand account later on in the hour. But Phillies take 2 of 3 against the Nationals. They lose yesterday 5-1. Trey Turner already missing time. JT Realmuto was out yesterday after fouling a ball off his foot. So you were missing a couple of your guys. So I have a question today, Johnny, for the people. And this is for all of us. I want your answer. I want Connor's answer. I'll give you my answer. Last week, before the season started, before opening day, on Wednesday, we did the show about why does it seem like it's more negative than positive going into the season.
Okay.
On Thursday of the home opener, or the opening day for Phillies, we made it a positive show. Like, we went full positivity.
We didn't really have a hard time doing it either.
Yeah, because people were excited for the game to start. And then the Phillies won opening day, but it was ugly. Mackenzie Gore has 13 strikeouts. They struck out a total of, 19 times in that game?
Yeah, record in Major League Baseball.
And we did the show Friday
Ever.
as if they snuck into the playoffs. The reaction to the first game of the season of 162 games was incredible to me, to the point where we did a whole segment where we kept receipts and we read the season over tweets that we got in the first 6 innings of the ball game. So what I want to do today,
I had more Saturday, by the way.
I'm sure you did.
When it was 2-0. When I checked my Twitter later, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Here's what I want to do at 610-632-0975. But, Johnny, we start with you. What is your personal percentage of just enjoying a Phillies game and the ride of this season versus the angst of how it's going to finish? Because here's the deal. We do recognize the issues that have hurt this team over the last couple of years. And, yeah, they ran it back. And I'm not thrilled that they ran it back with this lineup.
No.
There are things about this lineup that I don't like. I feel the same angst when Aaron Nola's out there every once in a while, even though he has been consistently on the mound for you week in and week out throughout his entire career as a member of the Phillies. And he'll go down as one of the more celebrated Phillies pitchers, at least statistically, in the history of the franchise. But what is your own personal percentage of, hey, I'm enjoying the game. You went to the game on Saturday. I'm enjoying this season. They're going to be a good ball club. But when you watch and you see similar issues unfold over the course of the season that have hurt them in the playoffs the last couple of years, how much will you let that be on your mind?
Oh, it's going to bother me. The Kyle Schwarber running the base paths stupidly Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
First batter. The first freaking batter. He's testing one of the better arms in baseball in right field. He's waddling around the base pads.
He's trying to steal bags. Like Kyle.
But
that's not your game, man.
No, but he hits one to the wall and then gets thrown out by 2 feet.
Yeah, I know.
Makes no sense. So that kind of stuff bothers me because I constantly am being told by the Phillies, we're changing what we do poorly. We're taking a different approach. I think they've been more selective at the plate. So I'm going to say maybe they're listening to some of it and not listening to others. It annoys the crap out of me in the moment. It doesn't annoy me enjoying the game or enjoying the whole baseball season.
Okay.
Not at all.
So what would your percentage? Because there's people like I think I could
I'd say 80.
That's what I was going to say. 80-20.
I'd say 80.
Like,
I'm an 80-20.
The enjoyment of the season is 80%. But 20% of me is still going to be like, all right, how's this Brandon Marsh everyday center fielder thing going to work out? You had a nice day on Saturday when you were at the game.
JK11 guarantee?
Yes, it's better than the CT18.
And it hit.
You're batting 1,000 on your guarantees.
I'm also batting 1,000. We could both be right.
But you also know that there are a lot of people that watch the Phillies as if every game is the final game of the regular season or it's an Eagles game. And I think 80-20 might almost be too positive for a lot of people.
I think the Phillies' stupid base running and maybe Aaron Nola, throwing up the clunker like every third time out.
Yep. That's
sort of the rock in my shoe, the pebble in the shoe, that you can still walk, you can still aim,
but it's there. It's bothering
you.
Man,
it's like it's a nudge. It's there. I certainly don't let it affect I hear the Aaron Nola stuff. Like, okay, Aaron Nola, I know this. He's not a wimp sitting out games,
Right.
I was packing a box and I have to miss a game. Aaron Nola's not doing that crap.
Training.
Aaron Nola's not doing that crap.
Spring training.
Yeah, please. 2 injuries at home in spring training.
Oh,
no, don't need it. Don't need it.
Connor, what would your answer be? Now, I imagine the three of us have high percentage numbers in terms of the happiness versus the angst.
I would probably say 95-5.
Yeah. I figured you were...
Honestly, I have very little that bothers me about this baseball team when I'm watching them in the moment. Now, when we get deeper into the season, when we start talking August and September, that's when I'll start to think about what have we seen from this team over the regular season that is going to either help them or hurt them in the postseason. But even though it's the same roster, I don't go into this year saying it's going to be the same thing. I go in with an open slate or a clean slate, open book. Mixing two things there, and say, let this team show me.
Better than before the show.
Yeah, right? Let this team show me what they're going to be this time around, because even though guys don't change, the dynamic of a team can change from a couple tweaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely can.
DJ AAA is...
I don't think that's the tweak.
By the way, them parading him around...
seriously.
I'll be honest, I kind of feel bad for him. They're like making him the poster child of AAA right now, which is...
Well, look.
Come see Garrett Stubbs.
Look, the Savannah Bananas have shown.
But honestly,
they can do clown stuff around baseball.
Stubbs would be a great banana.
He would be.
He would be a great Savannah banana. He's got a great personality.
He'd be a great Savannah banana.
He knows how to play baseball. He'd be a great banana.
He would. He's just a little short.
A
little short to be a banana.
Man, we're killing a guy not even on the team today.
We would love to hear from you at 610-632-0975.
He's getting lots of praise on Lehigh Valley Sports Radio.
He's getting a lot of it. Your reaction... Even though he wasn't even the opening day starter for them. Your reaction to the opening weekend for the Phillies, and answer the question for us. What's like your percentage breakdown? Give us your own personal poll. That come off right? Give us your own personal poll. Your percentage, your split of just enjoyment of baseball and enjoyment of a season versus the angst of how the season's going to go and how the season will finish. Because it was 3 games... And there was a lot of activity on social media.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily fun. Funny at times. I laughed at a lot of the things because sometimes I just have to laugh at some of the crazy things that are tweeted out there. But there are people that are legitimately upset, including an email that I got yesterday, Johnny.
Oh, boy.
So, coming up next, I have an email regarding Aaron Nola's first start of the season. And if this is how it's going to go after one start, it's going to be a very long season for a lot of people out there. So tell us what your percentage breakdown is. Your enjoyment versus the angst of how this season will end. We're high in terms of the enjoyment, 80%. Connor's got 95% for crying out loud. I'm sure there's a lot of people where it's a lot more balanced. It's Kincade and Salciunas here on this Monday morning, a new week, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The Philadelphia 76ers.
This hour of Kincade and Salciunas is presented by Bradford White Water Heaters. Bradford White, they're here for the pro.
6:14 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Coming up in our next segment, we'll kind of break down the entire weekend. And John was at the game on Saturday and got to see the
many
debut.
other Phillies fans.
Loud on the TV. I can only imagine.
It was like 50-50.
But still loud, right?
It was spectacular. No, it was spectacular. It was a lot of fun. It was Christina's first time other than Atlanta.
I love that ballpark.
It's a really nice ballpark, except they have the most ridiculous get into the ballpark system ever. They open the gates an hour and 20 minutes before the game.
Okay.
Like the Phillies are open, by the way, the new policy now, 2 hours before the game.
Yeah.
They open an hour and 20 before the game. And the lineup is just ridiculous.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Like getting into the stadium, there was just tons of Phillies fans wanting to get in there. Open, they want to buy your beer, they want to buy your food,
That's true.
they want to let the people in. But it's a great ballpark, great visual.
It is a great ballpark.
I saw Jeff from D.C.
Nice. That's
saw
awesome.
Jeff from D.C. He was sitting in the luxury club.
Oh.
I was sitting in the PNC club behind him.
And then Ray Dunn was in the nosebleeds.
Ray was in the nosebleeds, but he had a great time, I hope.
He did. All right, so I got an email yesterday from Joe.
Joe? Not Joe the Cynic.
No, not Joe the
Not
Cynic.
our buddy Joe the Cynic.
This is just Joe G. And he emails me during the Nola outing. Let's see. He sent this at 4 o'clock yesterday. So this was the game over by that point? Yeah, the game was over at this point. Andrew, I've mentioned this to you several times, but it still rings true. I can't stand watching Aaron Nola pitch. I hate that the Phillies re-signed him. I hate his voice, his body language, and his 4th and 5th innings. I hope I never have to see him pitch for the Phillies again.
Oh, come on.
And this is after one start. Now, Joe has been emailing me for years, so he has...
About him.
But you know when he emails me, he only emails me after the bad starts.
Sure.
He doesn't email me after the good starts, which, guys, Aaron Nola has a lot of good
How
starts.
about the 2022 postseason?
Yeah.
When he pitched them into it, then beat the Braves backsides.
Yeah.
Did he do that? Beat the Cardinals.
No, he emailed me probably after the Astros start where it didn't go well. Yeah. There are people like that when it comes to Aaron Nola. And there are people like that when it comes to Nick Castellanos, right? We've talked about this a million times. We like who we like. We don't like who we don't like. And when a player plays well, who we don't like, it's crickets. But when the player all of a sudden does not have a great performance, like Joe wasn't emailing me during the first 3 innings when Aaron Nola looked pretty good.
Nope.
It's just the 4th inning where he blew up, and that's when it's time to send the email. So when I asked the question of how much are you just going to enjoy the season versus the angst of a season, like Joe watches every game, or at least every Nola start with angst. Like he goes into the day the way we go into a Taiwan Walker start. Like this isn't going to go well. You can't, like, I can't imagine doing that for an entire season or even once a week during the season.
I can't imagine that's how you go into it. I just don't want to do, I can't watch this with any kind of level of enjoyment. I don't get that. I just don't understand. It's a mentality that I don't watch sports because to me, I'm somebody who, like friends of mine are good at fixing stuff around the house.
Yeah.
Things like that. I got buddies who are really good at that. They're like, you could do that for yourself. I said, I don't want to. I get frustrated if I start to feel like I don't know what I'm doing and then have to go to a YouTube video or stuff. I'm done. I'm done. So I don't enjoy. Or you want it
done
right,
thoroughly correctly.
I don't enjoy doing it, so I don't put myself through that.
Right.
So if you don't enjoy doing it, stop doing it. Just stay away.
Unless people like the pain.
Go take a walk.
There might be people that just like to watch for the pain of watching. I don't know.
That's dumb.
Like,
that's crazy.
It's a long season, man. Like,
what
I don't
are you,
know
a sports master?
By the way,
yes, there are people like that.
He's going to start for you 30 times.
Yes.
And you know what he's going to do on 23 of those times?
At least a quality start.
So I don't get it.
Neither
I just
do
don't
I.
understand it.
And look, I feel a certain type of way about Aaron Nola. He's not my favorite pitcher.
I ripped on people yesterday for the Jeff Kerr put it out there, and from CBS Sports. Aaron Nola does not suck in the 4th inning. Aaron Nola, in fact, has the best inning of his career in the 4th inning, pretty much, and the best inning last year was his 4th inning. Like, people getting on the 4th inning stuff. It bothers me.
No, it's the 4th inning for everybody.
Yeah, it's just it.
The Rav 4th inning is a cursed inning.
I see it in my nightmares.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a reason why I know that the 4th inning is sponsored.
I don't think that went that way last year for Zach Wheeler, did it? Did it go that way for Christopher Sanchez?
We'll have to look it up, Johnny.
Come on, Christopher. Have a day today.
All right, we'll give the entire opening weekend reaction coming up next. Johnny's got some grades for the starting pitchers, and Johnny America was in D.C. for Game 2 and was able to see the debut of Jesus Luzardo. So we'll get Johnny Baseball's firsthand account coming up next. And we'd love to hear from you at 610-632-0975. Your personal percentage of just enjoying the Phillies versus the angst of how it may finish. Not will, but may finish. A lot of you doom and gloomers out there. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports. Sports Update.
Phils win the series in Washington. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies took 2 out of 3 in Washington over the weekend to start their season. Next up is the home opener. The Phils will start their home slate today versus the Colorado Rockies, 3:05 p.m. First pitch. Christopher Sanchez takes the mound versus German Marquez. With a righty on the mound, we can expect to see Kyle Schwarber at the leadoff spot again, and we can expect that because Trey Turner should be getting another day off. More on that in a second, but Todd Zielecki talked about the lineup flip-flop on Friday.
I also think that Rob has talked to these guys and said, listen, would you guys be willing to be a little bit flexible early in the season? And I think Trey Turner for sure said yes, and I think Kyle Schwarber for sure said yes.
Now, they've had to be a little bit more flexible recently because of injury issues. Trey Turner is getting another day today due to back spasms. The Phillies have an off day tomorrow, so it should give him time to recover. JT Realmuto, who missed time in the National Series, could be available for today after fouling a ball off his foot in Game 2. He did not play yesterday. The Sixers fell to the Raptors last night, 127-109. They'll play the Knicks tomorrow night. The Flyers play the Preds tonight at 7 p.m. You can hear that game live here on The Fanatic. And it sounds like momentum is growing to try and ban the tush push. We'll keep you updated on the future of the Eagles' signature play. This update's brought to you by Corona. Want to win tickets to a Sixers game? Enter for your chance to win at the Fanatic's Corona Sixers pregame party events happening all season long, hosted by our man Andrew Salciunas. For details, go to the events page on 975thefanatic.com. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers and Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Flyers general manager.
Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic on this Monday morning. Hope you guys have a killer week, man. It's going to be wet.
Well, baseball week, a lot of wet.
It's going to be wet this week, which stinks, especially right after you start the season. You're all excited, and all of a sudden there's going to be games postponed, or there's going to be doubleheaders. We'll see what ends up happening. All right, so you were down in D.C. for Game 2.
We were.
Excited to get your first-hand account. Obviously, we talked a lot about opening day on Friday after the Phillies were able to win in extra innings. And then Saturday, when you're there, again, I know it was a bit of a slow start, very much a bit. And
they were quite chesty. The Nats fans were quite loud when it was 2-0.
Yeah, and then the Phillies tie it with the Stott home run in the fourth, and then they just unleash hell. And again, that's anything new with this lineup?
No.
This happens.
I was more excited about you buried the lead a little bit.
Go ahead.
It was the coming to Jesus meeting, and to me, 11 strikeouts.
Amazing, man.
That was fantastic. He had them just not get only the catcher, who reminds us of, as my wife goes, that reminds me a little bit of Chooch.
Oh,
their catcher.
Last name is Ruiz. Keibert Ruiz.
And he's sort of built the same way, and he pounded that ball. That ball was gone in 2 seconds. But overall, Luzardo, that was so exciting.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Nationals are not going to be a good baseball team, right? They're not.
They shouldn't be that good.
So I'm not going to expect Luzardo to get 11 strikeouts, but
they have a next gen attitude, though.
Oh, do they?
That's their that's their slogan this year.
Oh God, next gen attitude. That's just horrible.
But great, it was great, and so many Phillies fans there, and Phillies fans just loud. When Stott hit the home run, it got loud. When Schwarber hit the home run, it was beastly.
Oh yeah,
and then the Eagles chant started. That's sort of when the Eagles chant started.
Oh yeah, that's when the game's over. And did you see the Reddit post
about the
Commanders fan that's upset? Well, we gotta stop letting this happen.
Well, it was great to see 17 people wearing Commanders gear to the game.
Yeah,
because they're excited. I'm glad to see all the new Commanders gear they got. They're doing when they hit a home run, they have their own thing. They go N-A-T-S, Nats, Nats.
Yeah.
Woo! And then they do it if they hit the second home run of the game. They do it twice.
Ah, okay.
Third home run of the game. So they're very proud of that. And then every time it was answered with
That's awesome.
And the Eagles chant was louder. It annoyed them.
By the way, the NATS, that's so unoriginal.
They stole it from the Jets.
JETS, Jets.
No, but it's no though. It's N-A-T-S, Nats. Woo!
All right, so
and then they do the Ric Flair.
They added a woo.
Yeah,
they do a Ric Flair.
It's literally the Jets thing.
But it's what they do. But it's what they do. Then every time they did it,
a weak ass fan
it
base.
was met with the Eagles chants, which were coming from right field. Then they were coming from third base line. They were coming from, and my wife goes, "Come on, it's the Phillies." She's like, "Come on, it's a Phillies game."
NFC Championship game, man. It's your chance to make your voice heard.
Have some fun with it.
I'm usually anti-Eagles chant okay. Games, but it was okay. You're facing the team that is the same city of the team that you beat in the NFC Championship game, and by the way, in your division. But a good look overall, good weekend. They take 2 of 3 against the Nationals. Kyle Schwarber was a beast to start the first 2 games of the season with the 2 home runs. Yeah, Brandon Marsh had a nice day on Saturday against the in the starting lineup. It's a good day for him.
I'd say so.
He was okay yesterday. He had another knock yesterday. I'll give him his credit. There's something that's going to bother me this year. There's a lot of things that bother me, as you guys know. But there's something that I'm going to pay attention to way too much, to the point where I was texting my buddies about it yesterday. So I saw something that I thought was criminal behavior from Alec Bohm in yesterday's game.
Okay.
So in the 6th inning, when they had bases loaded, it was still 5-0 at the time. So they had 2 guys on. And if you remember the at-bat, Kyle Schwarber's facing the relief pitcher that he hit a home run off of in Game 2. And he saw 4 pitches and 5 pitches. No, 3 pitches because he got hit by a pitch. He saw 4 pitches, and 1 was a strike. The other 3 were up and in.
Right.
And the third one eventually hit his hand, right?
Yes.
Alec Bohm's the next batter. You saw a reliever come into the game, look wild as can be.
That is correct.
And what does Bohm do?
First pitch.
He swings at the first pitch and grounds into what was an inning-ending double play.
Bails him out.
Now
you have to make him throw a strike.
That's what I'm like, and this is going to be something. This is going to be something that's going to bother me with Alec Bohm all season long because he is a first pitch swinger, and I understand it's gotten him to this point in his major league career, which has been a very successful career, right? Like, I do like Alec Bohm at times when it comes to his approach at the plate, and I understand it was a strike. Because I'm sure there's going to be somebody that's listening that goes, well, he did swing at a pitch that was like up in the middle of the plate. That's not the point. Like, it is a cardinal sin in the sport of baseball to watch a reliever come into the ball game, look completely razzled, can't find the strike zone on the first batter, and then you swing first pitch with the bases loaded?
I will give it this. Here's what I'll give grace. Overall this weekend, I actually saw the Phillies doing what they said they were going to do, be more patient at the plate.
Except for one person.
So to me, yeah, but he didn't have a bad weekend.
No, he didn't have a bad weekend. He had the big hit on opening day.
Alec Bohm did not. In fact, Alec Bohm had a good opening series.
He's the reason you won Game 1.
So I'm not going to pick apart.
I said it's something I'm going to pay attention to all season.
I'm not going to pick apart one at bat. But that at bat, that was stupid.
Well,
that was really
and
stupid.
That's what he does. He swings first pitch. We saw it throughout. But again, this is kind of what led to some of the issues last year. He did not take good at bats last year. Remember, when he starts falling apart, what's one thing you do sometimes? Hey, why don't you see one first? He was swinging first pitch regardless of how bad he was streaking last year. I mean, we know what happened in the second half of the season, and yet his approach at the plate remained the same. And I see it already in the start this season when he's supposed to be this new man.
Yes.
That was a bad time to swing at the first pitch. And then he ends the game swinging at the first pitch. He saw 2 pitches his last 2 at-bats, which is an Alec Bohm problem.
Now, I got a text on my text line. My buddy Joe checking in.
All right.
He goes, I blame the hitting coach. No, Joe. You got to blame Alec Bohm.
Yeah, when everybody else is looking at it.
Everybody else was patient this weekend. Everybody else. How many walks did Nick Castellanos have this weekend?
I think 4.
He already has 4. He has 4 walks opening weekend.
He's got 4, yep.
In 3 games.
Kepler has 3, and he didn't play yesterday.
That is progress. By the way, Olivia saying that Max Kepler, Andrew Salciunas. She thinks he looks exactly like you.
I'm like 5 inches shorter than that guy.
She thinks he looks like you. So Max Kepler, Andrew Salciunas.
They're both white guys with short hair.
And we're going to have to do a comparison.
It's true.
Haley, we're going to have to do like a comparison side by side.
He's German, I'm Lithuanian.
He's going, the hitting coach has to remind the bats to be patient, damn it. That's what Joe says. No. They talk about it. They preview the game.
Yeah.
They sit down with them and they say, here's what you do. It's not Little League. It's not somebody in Brumall Babe Ruth telling you, take a pitch.
Right.
He's wild.
But that's where it's going to be with Bohm. It might have to get to that point where you're going to have to tell him to take a pitch. And because that's
29.
That's a horrible time to swing first pitch.
But wait a minute, though. Again, just make sure we summarize with this.
In a nice weekend.
Alec Bohm had a really nice opening weekend. So to me, I give him the grace.
I'm going to be paying attention to that all season
just
long.
like me with the base running on Saturday.
Yes.
I have no grace for the stupid base running. And then Schwarber gets thrown out twice on the base paths.
Yeah, I need him to stop thinking that he's fast.
He runs like Ted.
He's not fast.
He runs like the bear from Ted.
I know he lost some weight over the last couple of years.
And by the way, he does look good.
No, he looks great. But you're still not fast. Like, stop trying to... Like, that ball that he hit where he gets thrown out at second, as you mentioned, that thing was a rocket off the wall.
And it was off the wall, and more importantly, he had no chance. There was no chance.
The right fielder had the ball in his hand when he touched first base.
Everybody in the building was going, no! Yeah. You could hear it, no! That were Phillies fans.
I want your pitcher grades coming up next, because you gave high grade and low grade for somebody else. Also, we'll check our text line for the first time this morning. When it comes to watching the Phillies, give us the percentage of just enjoyment of Phillies baseball versus the angst of how it may finish. Because I just saw a tweet now, Johnny. Somebody, William Money, start trading pieces now. Same team as 2024, same results. We're 3 games into the season, and we're talking about trading players away. What is your personal percentage of enjoyment versus angst when it comes to Phillies? It's Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic. We want to hear from you. So text. on Kincade Salciunas on this championship Monday morning.
Not
Here on
bad you remember
97.5
that. That's
Fanatic.
good.
Oh, of course. Go Birds. By the way, Championship Mondays on the Fanatic presented to us by Pierce Phelps Bryant Heating and Air Conditioning Contractors. Visit nopaybryant.com. All right, before we get to our text messages, our question for you today, what is your personal percentage of just enjoying a Phillies game and a Phillies season versus the angst of how it may finish? See, I put will finish on the show sheet. I should not put will, because there are a lot of people that will say they will lose in the first round of the playoffs, which you can't know that on March the 31st. There are a lot of people that claim that they know that it will end poorly, like William Money, who said trade pieces away now because it's going to be the same result as last year, which was a first-round elimination. I don't believe that to be the case. All right? This team's going to be very, very good.
Well, he just feels otherwise. He's like, he's burned. Some people are burned.
Yeah, but like, then why watch, to what you said a couple segments ago?
Okay,
like,
do you watch a Sixers game?
Well, I'm a loser.
No, I'm saying, do you watch a Sixers game? Do you watch
I did not watch yesterday. I will tell you that.
Do you watch a Flyers game?
Yeah.
Well, then you're asking people why would they watch? Why you watch?
Yeah, but here's the deal.
You know the Sixers. I'm sorry I spoiled it for you in October, but like the people that were like, no, Sixers are going to be. I remember I was being told by the best show ever when I was doing the math. Oh, some people are using bad math around here with the Sixers. I'm like, no, the bad math is the Sixers.
The ramp up.
They're not going to win. They're not.
Yeah, but if you watch a Flyers game, you know that you're not watching it at this point for them to win. You're watching it to see if Michkov does something.
Well, then that's
and
what
you know the rebuild.
Well, somebody may be watching a Phillies game for that. Maybe they're watching for a great pitching effort. Maybe they're watching for Schwarber to hit some
but if they're
bombs.
miserable the entire time, that doesn't sound like fun.
I don't think they're miserable when Schwarber hits a 3-run homer. I don't think they're miserable when Nick Castellanos all of a sudden.
Do you believe through 3 games the fan base has been more happy or more miserable and angsty?
I think good.
You think so?
Saturday we had a party.
Yeah, the people there.
Well, wait a minute.
That's the diehards that make the trip.
The people who were there were watching the same game. The people at home.
You said you had tweets when you checked your phone.
No, afterwards when it was 2-0, I didn't have many, thankfully. But it was over fast. That was over fast. The Phillies were in control of that game by the 4th inning.
It was
a party.
I think people are angsty,
people are being
man.
idiots. Then people are just being idiots.
And we'll get to the text messages here in a second. But you have your grades on the pitchers.
Yeah, it was good.
What do you got, Professor John?
Okay, Professor John. I'm going to give an A to Wheeler for his first outing. This is based on his first outing.
Yeah.
I'll give an A to Wheeler. I'll give a B+ to Jesus Luzardo.
Okay.
There's a 2-run bomb to a soft-hitting catcher. I'm not going to, do that. That sort of put him. The only thing that kept him from an A, because the 11 strikeouts was just delicious.
Yeah, I mean, 11
it was
strikeouts
spectacular.
Crazy, yeah.
Very excited for Jesus, and look forward to being one of his followers. I don't know if I'm one of the first 12, but I'll be there. And now, then we get to Aaron Nola. F. As in, I don't give a having to watch that. That F. But again, I'm not giving up on Nola.
No, I know you're not. You're just giving him a grade for that.
And I
game.
know that if Nola has 30 starts, 22 of them, as thank you for one of our Twitter followers, 22 of them, we're going to walk away and go, yeah, it was pretty good. He gave him a chance to win. So I'm very happy with that. I'll be okay. I'm not going to get excited about one game.
Yeah, Aaron Nola's line on his first start of the season, 5 1/3 innings pitched. He allowed 5 earned runs, 6 hits, struck out 8, didn't walk anybody. But this is a Nola issue. He's around the zone, around the zone, right? 8 strikeouts is great.
Yeah.
No walks is great until you go through the second time through the order. So here's how the day went for Nola, right? Pop out, fly out, strikeout, your first inning. Great start to the game. Fly out, strikeout. That's your second inning for Nola. Inning number 3, single, strikeout, sack, bunt leads to out number 2, strikeout of C.J. Abrams. So you end the third inning. C.J. Abrams is the leadoff hitter for the Nationals. You just saw him for a second time. Now you're getting in the middle of the order.
Yeah, here we go.
Strikeout, ground out. So you get the first 2 outs. Hit by pitch, single, home run, double, ends the inning with a strikeout, so DeYoung stays on second base. But this has been a problem of Aaron Nola's in his career. It's that second time through the order. Now, it doesn't happen all the time. right? Like, as we have said, Nola is going to give you 22 is the number you gave, like 22 quality starts this year.
He's going to give you 22 is what this guy says. He goes, you can expect in his Phillies career, if he starts 30, 22 are going to be quality starts.
And that's why you paid him, and that's why you can turn to him every fifth day.
60% of the time, he's going to give you a quality start. Sign me up.
And this is also why he's not like an ace, right? He's a very good 2 in a rotation.
As a Phillies pitcher, he has been no less than a B.
Yeah.
He's no less than a B. And if you give him less than a B, you're a bad grader. You're just
be harsh,
you're just being contrary. He's a B pitcher. Nothing better. He's a B. And he'd be an ace for other staffs, unfortunately.
Yeah, he would. No,
the way
he would
baseball
be.
is.
Absolutely. All right, what do we have on the text line this morning, Connor? I'm curious to see what the people are saying this morning.
All right, we have a bunch of people checking in on their thoughts on the Phillies and someone who's upset about Alec Boehm's situation at the plate. This texter, Matt from Morgantown, says, Boehm pisses me off. Last 2 at-bats, 5 runners on, gets out on the first pitch. Same crap from him.
I'm telling you, it's going to be something that I will pay way too close attention of. Like, I'm going to do like an Alec Boehm pitches scene chart, game by game, because that's a bad spot. Like, if you've ever played baseball, if there's a new pitcher that comes in and the first batter he faces, he throws 3 completely wild pitches to the point where the third one hits him.
What are you supposed to do at that point?
You're taking the first pitch the next at bat, and don't give me the pitch was there. I don't care if the pitch was there. You don't do that. And he swings at the first pitch, and he hits into an inning-ending double play when he had the bases loaded. Now, that's baseball. It's going to happen where he did hit it hard, just went right to the third baseman. But it is criminal to swing at the first pitch after that at-bat. And don't tell me, well, he probably thought he was going to have to groove one because the bases were loaded. I don't care. It's just baseball. You don't swing at the first pitch like that.
All I can tell you is this. Nikki the C, Nikki 3 buttons, and I did 1 button today in my that was my Christmas Harper, by the way,
That's
from
nice.
Liv.
It's a nice jersey.
This is my Christmas Harper.
The cream color, it's nice.
And I will tell you this. Nick Castellanos, in his Phillies career, has gotten 29 walks in a season in 2022.
Yep.
36 walks in a season in 2023, up to 41 last year. He's on pace for 216 walks.
I'll take the under.
Yeah, I'm going to take the under as well.
I'll take that over 41. I'm saying he'll get up to 55 or 60 this year. 60 walks is what he should be expected to do. He should be expected to get there. Great job. So somebody listened. Somebody listened to the message about being selective. Look, if he has his best one ever and he improves if he improves by 15, 20%.
Yeah, but
that's listening.
The same goes. You don't want to be too critical of somebody through 3 games.
I got you.
I'm not going to start saying Nick Castellanos is a changed man.
I'm going to tell you.
Through 3 games.
I believe he's listening.
Look, I like Castellanos. I believe he's listening.
I know we do. We both do. But I believe he's listening.
All right.
And that's good to know.
Alec Boehm, clearly not.
No.
First pitch
But still, he had a good weekend.
He did have a good weekend. I'm just telling you, this is something that's going to bother me all season long. All right, coming up next, we'll reset today's topic. We'll get some more of your text messages in at 610-632-0975. What's the personal percentage for you of enjoying a Phillies game versus the angst of how you think it may finish the season at the end of the year? Because a lot of you are wake me up to the playoffs, people, and I don't get that. Also, Real Muto and Turner out. We'll give you some updates on their injuries
Somebody
coming up.
packing boxes?
Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
2 out of 3 from the Nats. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies took 2 out of 3 from the Washington Nationals over the weekend to start their season. Next up is the home opener. Phils are going to start their home slate today versus the Colorado Rockies. 3:05 p.m. first pitch with Christopher Sanchez on the mound, facing off against German Marquez. With a righty on the mound, we can expect to see Kyle Schwarber at the leadoff spot again, and Todd Zielecki talked about that on Friday on these airwaves, the flip-flopping of the lineup.
I also think that Rob has talked to these guys and said, listen, would you guys be willing to be a little bit flexible early in the season? And I think Trey Turner for sure said yes, and I think Kyle Schwarber for sure said yes.
Now, whether it was a righty or not today, you would have seen Kyle Schwarber in the leadoff spot. Looks like Trey Turner is going to get another day of rest as he deals with back spasms. JT Realmuto, who fouled the ball off his foot in Game 2 against the Nationals, may be available. We'll keep you updated as we get closer to first pitch. The Sixers fell to the Raptors last night, 127-109. They'll play the Knicks tomorrow night. The Flyers play the Predators tonight at 7 p.m. You can hear that game live here on The Fanatic. And it sounds like momentum is growing to try and ban the tush push. We'll keep you updated on the future of the Eagles' signature play. This update's brought to you by Rapid Radios. Their instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the 76ers and Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philadelphia Sports.
today. You guys are heading down the ballpark today, right? Johnny, Connor. I'm going to be taking young Coop to the game today. I got suckered into it.
How'd you get suckered in? Tell the audience because they'll relate to you. A lot of guys will relate to you.
So around 6:15 this morning, I get a text from my wife. Please call when you can. And that's always like the terrifying text, right?
Correct.
And you and I talked about this last week. My wife accidentally butt dialed me, and our first, especially with our hours, we work so early, and they know what our wives know what we do.
It's startling.
You go, oh my God, why are they calling, or why why is the police call me?
I'm not sure my wife knows what I do because she's like, we met like probably 6-7 listeners this weekend, and I'm not sure she didn't react at all like her husband has a radio show. Like she always acts sort of shocked when people come up out of nowhere, like, hey, how you doing, John? What's going on? So I don't know that she knows.
Well, maybe she's just not used to it.
Your wife knows. After 23 years, she better.
Yeah, exactly. So I get a text, call me. So I call. And, dude, I almost started crying in the back hallway. Coop's like...
Yeah, you got a little choked up.
Coop's sniffling on the phone. I go, buddy, what's up? What's wrong? I miss you. And I'm like, you got me. I go, tell you what, bud. You want to go to the Phillies game later? Because he doesn't like going back to daycare after the weekend because he's been with mom and dad all.
Of course.
So Monday's usually a tough day for him. I go, buddy, if you have a good day at school, how about we go to the Phillies game? Okay. So now I'm going to the Phillies game with Coop.
Yeah, what if he has a bad day at school, though? You gotta.
Well, then I have to go to the Phillies game and get him ice cream to make up for it.
Now you getting the tickets.
I'll make it work. I know people. I'll
have your fun with that.
I'll get this taken care of. Yeah, tickets are expensive on your secondary markets for the home opener today. So I looked it up. Section like 430 is going for $80.
That's incredible.
So there's clearly excitement if the ticket prices are that high.
So my buddy Joe text me follow up because he's so upset about this. He says, my buddy Nick, I love you, Nick, agrees with me. Same hitting style for 3 years. They promise change. And patience. Joe, they're telling them what to do. If a player goes up to the plate and doesn't listen, you don't fire the hitting coach. They have scored how many runs in the first series? 17. They've scored 17 runs. They're averaging 6 a game in the first 3 games. That means the hitting coach has obviously done a pretty good job. If Alec Boehm swings at the first pitch, don't blame the hitting coach. Blame the stupid player that makes a dumb mistake at the time.
Yeah, they're actually 19 in the first series, Johnny. Add 2 more onto that.
It was 19?
7, 11, and 1. Gets you to 19, right?
Was it 7, 11, and 1? Oh, man.
They scored 1 yesterday, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was 17. Look at that. That's even better.
Yeah. I mean, listen.
Come on.
Now,
they're totally fine.
Let me add this.
Come on. We're complaining about a team scoring 6 runs a game.
Let me add this. It's only been 3 games. I get it. But if we're talking about approaches at the plate, the Philadelphia Phillies have walked as a team 18 times this season.
How good's that?
That is 4th best in Major League Baseball, 4th most in Major League Baseball, behind the Dodgers, who have 21, who have played 2 more games. The Cubs, who have 23, who have played 3 more games. And the Pirates lead the league with 25 walks. They've played 1 more game than the Philadelphia Phillies.
So in other words, the Phillies are the most patient team. Come on. Everybody, stop it. It's 3 games. Stop it now.
Yeah.
And Joe and Nick, the 2 of you should be ashamed of yourselves. 2 guys who know baseball.
And oh, by the way,
they should be ashamed of themselves.
Batting average through 3 games, Phillies have the 5th best batting average in Major League Baseball. And on base percentage, they have the 4th best on base percentage in Major League Baseball.
So in other words, they're doing a really good job at the plate. You can't just say, and don't blame the players for it. Don't blame them. Blame the approach they're taking. I mean, don't blame the coach.
Yeah, blame Alec Boehm for swinging first pitch.
That's all on Boehm.
It's a cardinal rule. When you see a guy come into the game and he's wild with the first batter, you don't swing first
That's
pitch.
all on Alec Boehm.
You're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, WPN, HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia. A Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. We'll get to our text line here in a second, but the Phillies were without Trey Turner in games 2 and 3 of the series. They were without JT Realmuto yesterday. Still no official word on whether or not they'll be back today, but I do know that Trey Turner said he feels like he should be back today, but you said Rob Thompson spoke after the game.
Rob Thompson sort of made it seem, yesterday seemed before the game. Rob Thompson, before the game even started, talking along the lines of, probably give Trey an extra today, so that way he doesn't play till Wednesday. So they
'Cause you're off tomorrow.
So they just make sure that nothing, lingers.
Yeah.
Because last year, obviously, the hammy hurt him. So don't push it early in the season.
Now, Turner was saying that he was dealing with some hip issues toward the end of spring training, but he was able to play through it. He said sitting down and sleeping was what made him uncomfortable, and the team doctors believe the hip issues led to these back spasms, which is what's kept him out of the game the last 2 days. Real Muto was just out because he fouled a ball off his foot, and, it happens.
It happens. And by the way,
You're a catcher, you're going to get beat up.
Real Muto gets knocked around. So.
And he'll play, unless he has an injury, he's playing 120 games this year.
He will play through it.
And he's still spectacular behind the dish.
And he will push to play through it.
I mean, they already tried stealing on him a couple of times this series, and it didn't work out for you. And Marchand had a nice, decent day yesterday.
Well, Marchand's fine.
Yeah,
no problem.
He's a better backup catcher than Garrett Stubbs.
Better than DJ AAA.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be honest. I know I said it earlier. I feel bad that they're like parading him around as like the poster child of the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs.
He's their version of the Savannah Bananas. That's what it is. He's marketable for that. That's what he's marketable for, not his baseball skills. Come on. He's marketable for that.
Part of me feels bad, man. Like,
I don't.
They make him on the cover.
How much is he making?
No, he's making plenty of money to be in AAA.
Seriously.
Yeah,
and look, he stayed longer in the major leagues than he should have.
Yes.
So
that's true.
It's
absolutely.
okay.
All right, what do we have on the text line? Here's our question for you today, just to reset it. What is your personal percentage? We're not doing a Twitter poll. We want you to give us your poll. All right?
What?
At 610-632-0975. What? I'm talking about the polling. John?
Let's say personal percentage.
What is your
Yes.
personal percentage of just enjoying a Phillies game in the Phillies season versus the angst of how you think it may finish? So Johnny and I both have the same 80-20. 80% enjoyment, 20% back of our mind thinking about certain things. Connor, the golden retrievers, John calls them, 95% positive, 5% with things in the back of your mind.
And by the way, gentlemen did ask me this weekend about that in the PNC Club.
Okay.
When I say that about Connor, it is a compliment.
Yes.
It's a compliment that Connor, I know every single day, is going to find some reason to be positive.
Damn right.
So to me, that's a compliment.
Thank you. I appreciate
Because a
it.
gentleman asked me, he goes, "Oh man," he goes, "the golden retriever, I'm sure won't, He goes, "I'm sure he's always going to be happy." And I said, "He is." I said, "That's a good thing, though."
Good boy.
I said, "Connor, there's enough of the negativity."
Yeah, listen.
So, come on.
Guess what? Fan base will take care of the negativity. I know that.
Especially with a team that's going to win over 90 games. So we want to know what's your percentage, because I'm sure there's a lot of people. And some of the things in the back of our minds, right? To me, I'm going to be paying attention to this Alec Boehm first pitch swinging all season long.
And that's fine.
Base running issues, which is
Right.
totally fine. Like Kyle Schwarber should not think that. I know that he's penciled in as the leadoff hitter. He's not your prototypical leadoff hitter. He needs to be reminded of that. Yo, dude, you're not fast. All right? You're not.
No.
You can't stretch singles into doubles. You can't steal bases. I don't know if he was given a steal sign the other day, but it was horrible.
I don't think he has the green light to go, so I'd imagine they gave it to him.
I guess.
It was also a lefty, right? So you're looking at a situation where you're going first move anyway if you're going to swipe one. Listen,
Yeah,
I got
certain
you.
players.
Well, the leadoff of the game, there's no reason in the world you're getting thrown out at second.
Yeah.
There's just none.
That's not a bad thing. It's a horrible way to start the game.
It's a terrible. Oh, by the way, the next guy walks.
Yeah.
See, then you'd have Bryce Harper coming up with 2 men on base.
2 men on, nobody out.
I don't think
instead.
anybody can debate that.
It's
Bad
just
decision.
so dumb.
So there are things that we're going to pay attention to over the course of the season that's going to bother us. The Aaron Nola every once in a while start is clearly going to bother people. I read an email to you guys earlier today where the guy straight up said, if I never had to see him pitch ever again, I'd be okay with it. Like, that's horrible. This guy's been one of your more consistent pitchers over the last couple of years. And that's the kind of opinion that people have on him. What do we have on the text line?
Yeah, so we have a check-in from John V, who's got his percentages. Now, he says, beginning of the year, I'm 85% enjoyment, 15% angst. But when it gets to the postseason with this team, I'm 50% enjoyment,
Well, that's
150% angst.
50% is. I love that.
Yeah,
This
that's different.
50% is terrible.
But the way, like, people
But it's
acted
okay.
game one of the season, opening day, as if it was game one of the NLDS. Like, that's how people were watching that ball game. And it I can't do it that way, which is why I'm 80-20, you're 80-20, Connor's 95-5. But, like, there are a lot of people that watch every single game and go, this is why they're not going to win. Instead of this is why they can win, it's this is why they're not going to win. And I don't understand that way. I don't understand that approach, but that's just me. I get it. There's people that go to a ball game every once in a while. Like if I go to a baseball game with my dad, right? We don't go to 81 home games.
No.
We go to, nowadays, we probably go to 3 together. If they're playing poorly, he wants to let his voice be heard.
Your father is of my father's generation, like not my father's generation, but that type of fan.
Right. But he's not tweeting
No.
every game,
No.
162 games. This guy stinks, that guy stinks. This is why they're not going to win. I don't get that approach. I want to know what your percentage is. The excitement and enjoyment of just watching a Phillies game versus the angst of what could happen at the end of the season. Now, coming up next, we move into an Eagles discussion as well. Remember, last week on the show, we read the report from Diana Rossini that the anti-tush push crowd was growing, Johnny.
Yes. I got a little insider information on that for you.
There's an ESPN story that we'll go through, and Nick Sirianni spoke on the tush push and had an awesome answer. It is Kincade and Salciunas on this Monday morning, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Mike Missinelli.
I can't say that this team is not good, but you know what I feel about the Phillies?
Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. So we've obviously been talking a lot about the Phillies for the first hour of the show. Their first weekend series in the books. They take 2 of 3 against the Nationals. And our question for you today, what is your personal percentage of enjoying a baseball game, a Phillies game, a Phillies season versus the angst of how it may end? Because before the season started, the majority of our conversation was how the Phillies were going to fall apart and they didn't do anything different and they're not going to win. Not our opinions. That's what people were kind of bringing to the table whenever we talked about the Phillies.
I think that's a fair way to say it.
But you were in the game. You were at the game Saturday. Everybody that was there was rocking with the Phillies and having a good time. So what is your actual percentage? Like, there may be somebody that's very angsty, but when they think about it, it ends up only being 10% of their overall enjoyment of watching a Phillies season. Or there's somebody that's so down in the dumps with this team that they're allowing the angst to trump the actual enjoyment of the season. And we saw that. We saw that the first 6 innings of the season. The first 6 innings of the season, you would have thought they were on the brink of elimination. And so I'm curious what your personal percentage is at 610-632-0975. But we got some Eagles stuff to get to as well. So last week on the air, I think it was Thursday,
right,
when Diana Rossini put out the report that the anti-tush push crowd was growing, that it looked like it was increasing toward the ban. Now, they have to have 24 teams vote against the tush push. And it seems like that number won't get there this year.
How about I got like a really good inside source on that committee. And it says, doesn't look like they have the votes to be able to do that for your play. I'm going to keep some of the editorializing out. But go and win another championship. And they just may next year. And he said there is a coalition of teams that are trying to talk it up. Not surprisingly, heavy NFC.
Yeah, we know the Green Bay Packers were obviously the team that first brought it to the table.
Sean McVay should be ashamed of himself. Sean McVay not showing his Marist. He's not living by his Marist code that my daughter still feels like she has to live by. He's not living by it.
So
being cowardly.
So Warren Sharp, who does a lot of analysis for football, he I just want to give him credit because he made my life easier. He did the Spark Notes of an ESPN report about the tush push. So the proposal is reached the competition committee, obviously, and apparently there is support with teams. You mentioned the Rams. According to ESPN, during the Football Operations Sunday session, Howie Roseman and assistant GM John Ferrari of the Philadelphia Eagles had a, quote, animated conversation with both Sean McVay and Sean McDermott in a side hallway outside the ballroom. Now, you mentioned Sean McVay, but remember McDermott, Mr. Hypocrite, is anti-tush push because of player safety, and yet the Buffalo Bills run the play the second most time in the NFL.
We know that it's not about player safety.
Yeah, we know all,
these people.
Especially because you can't say player safety and be the team that runs it the second most.
No, you cannot.
And the second most isn't like the Eagles do it 100 times, the Bills did it 5 times. The Bills did it over 55 times over the last 2 seasons. And that's just second to the Philadelphia Eagles. And oh, by the way, it was 40 more times than the Chicago Bears, who were third. So that means they do it at a pretty extensive clip, and they're the ones trying to be a part of this banning.
They cannot do that.
It's hypocritical.
It is totally hypocritical. It's a joke, is what it is.
Now, the best part, Mike Garafolo asked Nick Sirianni about it.
This is a spectacular quote.
And you sent it. Do you have it in front of you? I have it in front of me, but you sent it to me yesterday.
Yeah, you can read it off. It's fun.
Jonathan Gannon.
It's absolutely. It shows how hypocritical people can be.
Yep.
He's just warning people.
Jonathan Gannon. This is a quote from Nick Sirianni. Jonathan Gannon, Kellen Moore, and Shane Steichen are head coaches because of that play. So I better have those 3 votes right there and the Eagles vote. I at least know we have 4. Now, are they head coaches because of the tush push? No. But I love that he's straight up saying, hey, the guys that are now head coaches that are a part of my coaching tree, you better side with us. I love that he put it out there.
I do too. I think that it is I don't believe that they would. I don't believe they're close to the votes. And I would just tell you, I think the source I have is really, really good as far as knowing the way the vote will go.
Yeah.
But it is funny to say, I think that it could change, though. I think it could change.
Yeah.
There could be, if you guys go and win another championship, it might work against you.
Yeah, they're not going to go the opposite way on this. More and more teams are going to jump in because, frankly, I'll tell you guys right now, and this may be flawed thinking by me, but if the Washington Commanders ran this play or if the Dallas Cowboys ran this play, I'd be fighting to have it banned. Whether it's right or not, screw them. And that's how a lot of people feel about the Eagles. And if they keep winning, more teams are going to feel that way.
By the way, Stephen Jones on the record, anti-tush push, quote, "We don't allow pushing in the game. We're trying to be consistent with our rules."
Such a cowardly little wuss.
Yeah.
What a wuss.
So there are teams, like just in this alone, Rams, Bills, Cowboys. We know the Packers are against it. So that's 4. They have to have 24. There's probably some waiting in the weeds. Now, do the votes become public?
Yeah, they'll tell who's public.
So we'll find out we'll find out who the cowards are.
We'll know who voted which way. We're going to know who voted which way.
And this is all over a play that averages 1 yard. 1 yard.
Because they can't handle it.
And to say that it's not skilled, then why don't you do it?
Correct.
And why can't you do it successfully if it isn't a skilled play? That's the thing. Like, if there is somebody that is on the fence, about a fence.
If they're on a fence.
Like, I want the teams that are on the fence to really think this through.
Yeah.
Your reasoning is player safety.
Correct.
And we have found out that nobody got hurt on the play. One of the teams that is pushing the player safety narrative was the team that ran it the second most times in the NFL, so they're hypocrites. And if you tell me skill is not involved with this play, how come no other teams can do it as successfully as the Philadelphia Eagles?
And if something is not a skilled play, I would think that for professionals, that would be easy to stop.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yes.
I loved when we had Shefty on a few weeks ago. He said, what? Because Tyreek Hill's faster than everybody else, should he not play? Because it's unfair?
Well, that's a little different.
No, but seriously.
I think that's a
nobody can stop it, so we need it banned. It's stupid.
Okay.
All right, coming up next, speaking of the Eagles. They're the first team ever to do something, Johnny.
Really?
And it is a major tip of the cap to Howie Roseman. I'll tell you what next as we're getting close to the NFL draft. There's your teaser. It's Kincade and Salciunas on this Monday morning, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. I'm Connor Thomas, and that's what the Phillies did down in Washington this weekend. They took 2 out of 3 from the Nationals in their season opening series. Next up, the home opener. Phils will start their home slate today versus the Rockies, 3:05 p.m. first pitch with Christopher Sanchez on the mound. German Marquez will be on the mound for the Rockies, and with a righty on the mound, you can expect to see Kyle Schwarber at the leadoff spot again. Now, you should expect that anyway because it sounds like Trey Turner's getting another day to nurse his back spasms that kept him out of the final 2 games in the series down in Washington. But Todd Zalecki talked about the flip-flop on the lineup on Friday.
I also think that Rob has talked to these guys and said, listen, would you guys be willing to be a little bit flexible early in the season? And I think Trey Turner for sure said yes, and I think Kyle Schwarber for sure said yes.
We'll keep you updated on Trey Turner injury updates. JT Realmuto also missed the final game of the series in Washington after fouling a ball off his foot. We'll see if he's available for the first home game of the year later this afternoon. Sixers fell to the Raptors last night, 127-109. They're off till tomorrow night. Flyers play the Predators tonight at 7 p.m. You can hear that game live here on The Fanatic. And as we were just talking about, sounds like momentum is growing to try and ban the tush push. We'll keep you updated on what the NFL does with the Eagles' signature play. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the 76ers and Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Ricky Batalico.
Everybody thought that when Bryce Harper stepped over here, it was going to be World Series galore. We should have 3 by now, 2 by now.
Talking about the Phillies.
Weekdays here on Kincade Salciunas on this Championship Monday morning, presented to us by Pierce Phelps Bryant Heating and Air Conditioning Contractors. Visit nopaybryant.com. By the way, great deal of the week. Connor Thomas salivating. The Funplex in Mount Laurel.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's my spot.
You know,
You love this. You can speak to this, Connor.
Yeah, I used to go there all the time growing up.
yes, you did. Even when you were like 18 years old.
He was probably going there when the fourth grade birthday party.
Get 2 single-day wristbands for the price of one for the Funplex in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Wristbands offer unlimited access to indoor and outdoor rides, 1-hour bowling, and select video games. That's actually awesome. Get this exclusive offer while supplies last at 975thefanatic.com/deals. I went to a place last week. I told you about on Monday. It was the bouncy place where Connor used to go to on his first 21st birthday. And
It's not true.
it's a great place, but then all the video games you have to pay extra money for.
Oh, not the Funplex. Right?
But if you're at the Funplex and you get this wristband,
Right, you're playing.
Select games are a part of the package.
That's awesome.
So get 2 single-day wristbands for the price of one. Go to 975thefanatic.com.
Chris Hansen liked meeting Connor. He thought it was a good meeting, and they cleared it up immediately. If you watch that episode, it was nothing to see there.
God forbid I enjoy fun. Sue me.
Chuck E. Cheese, you love the pizza. You go for the pizza, you say.
It's not Chuck E. Cheese.
You say you go
There's
for the
go-karts.
pizza.
There's mini golf. It's a fun place. Leave me alone.
No, we're just joking about the bouncy place.
Yeah, wait,
it's all right.
fun. That's the old bouncy place from last week if you follow the show.
Yes. Connor, by the way, put out a poll on it. And majority of people said it was
Dude,
odd.
it was like 51-49.
Majority rules, Connor.
It was wild.
Is
how
this
close
not a
that was.
democracy? Majority rules.
That is
right.
a democracy.
NBC Sports Philadelphia, Ruben Frank. Always great work with the Rube's observations.
Yes.
The Eagles are the first team in the history of the NFL, history of the draft, to have accomplished something.
What?
And this is a tip of the cap to Howie Roseman and his scouting department.
Okay. I can't wait to hear this one.
The Philadelphia Eagles are the first team in NFL history to have drafted 4 Pro Bowlers in consecutive years in the second round. Miles Sanders, 2019. Jalen Hurts, 2020. Landon Dickerson, 2021. And Cam Jurgens in 2022.
Okay, that's wild.
They're the first team
That's
in
wild.
NFL
That
history.
really is. That's wild.
There was a team that did it 3 straight years. It was the Chargers, back when they were the San Diego Superchargers. From 05 through 7, Vincent Jackson, wide receiver, Marcus McNeil, and then Eric Weddle. I loved Eric Weddle. He was a fun safety to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
They did 3 straight years, but the Eagles are the first team to do it 4 straight years.
That's really good. That's really good stuff.
Now, who did they draft in the second round in 2023? Because last year was Cooper DeJean. Who was 2023 second round pick?
Cam Jurgens.
Cam Jurgens. Remember, he was the beginning of the second round.
No, he started last year or 2 years ago.
Wasn't it Cam?
2023 was. They didn't have a second round pick.
Oh, they
It was
didn't?
Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith, and then they drafted
yes.
Tyler Steen in the third round.
Oh, was Jurgens
Oh,
22? Wow.
Jurgens
Yeah.
was 22.
He's been around
because remember,
longer
he
than
was,
I thought.
he was your right,
22,
he was the
right.
right guard in 2023.
Ah,
There
yeah,
you go.
true.
So I'm curious. I don't know if they will count Cooper DeJean. It didn't have to happen the rookie season. At some point, at any point, they become a Pro Bowl. And the Eagles have done it 4 straight years, which is they did it 4 straight second round picks, which is why you're successful right now, because you've been hitting on your first, second, and third round picks. So that's a tip of the cap to Howie Roseman, man. And I'm expecting more of the same this year. The way this draft has been being talked about, and we're going to get into a draft discussion in the 8 o'clock hour because you have been doing a great job keeping an eye on something, Johnny. But the way this draft is being set up in terms of the deep defensive tackle draft, if they were to acquire somebody in the first round and then tight ends in the second round, or they draft a defensive tackle in the second round, they're setting themselves up, the Eagles are, with probably a good draft again.
They certainly are.
The way in terms of of their needs, in terms of what they need, this draft suits them.
I don't too. And the other day, hearing it was Dave Zangaro was talking about it, like I on Best Show Ever. I expect them to draft at 32 to get that 5th year.
Yeah, the 5th year
locked
option.
down. I personally, from everything I've heard about this draft and everything I'm reading about this draft, that it could be. Here's one from Our Lads draft guide.
I like our lad.
That it could be the best second night of the draft as far as talent ever.
Ever.
As far as the amount of guys that have grades that truly grade out to be worthy of a top 3 rounds pick. The second night of the draft could be the best ever, second and third round. So to me, unless it's some position that you are totally obsessed with getting that 5th year on, I would think that's quarterback is one of the ones you want to have the 5th year option on. An edge rusher, you probably want to have it. Slower developing positions.
Right. Now, I found this article very interesting. So Lance Zierlein does a good job.
Lance does.
Breaking
nice
down.
job.
He's a draft analyst for the NFL Network, NFL.com.
He does a nice job.
So he did his, and again, this goes to my point about how this draft, in terms of the depth of it, suits the Eagles' needs perfectly. He ranked the 11 position groups from strongest to weakest. He did like his own personal analysis. He is a draft guy, right? Edge defender, edge rusher, is the highest rated overall in terms of rounds 1 through 7. So this isn't just first round. Rounds 1 through 7, he believes edge defender is the deepest part of this draft coming up in April. Running back, he actually has at number 2. Big running back draft class ahead. And of course, you don't have to draft running backs in the first round. Interior defensive line, 3rd. So far in the top 3, the Eagles need 2 of those. The Eagles need to draft an edge rusher. The Eagles need to draft an interior lineman. The 4th highest ranked position group, tight end. What do the Eagles need to draft at some point in this draft?
They need a tight end.
5th, offensive tackle. And we'll get into this more in the 8 o'clock hour. What is something that the Eagles need to start thinking about down the road? Lane Johnson's replacement. And then the bottom half, it's wide receiver, cornerback. So good thing they got Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean last year. And then interior offensive line, linebacker. Quarterback is the second worst. And you know teams will make mistakes drafting quarterbacks high.
Let the Giants make the mistake.
Yes. And then he has safety dead last, but he says, with the exception of like Malachi Starks.
Okay, here's one for you. You like our lads.
Yes.
Here's one for you, too. Is that tight end and offensive tackle best year in 6 years?
Wow.
2019 is 6 years. Best draft in 6 years at 2 position groups in the 2nd and 3rd rounds. Tight end and offensive tackle. That's great. But if the Eagles see an offensive tackle they like at 32, they might want the 5th year option.
Yeah, especially with Lane Johnson.
Might want to have that.
I don't know that you can go depth with a first pick with everybody you lost on defense. Like to me, what Andrew just read says take safety. Because if there's
if you don't get one of the good ones, why would you go onto a car lot and say...
No. Obviously, if they're not there, you don't just take safety.
He's saying if Malachi Starks is on the board, take Malachi Starks.
Malachi Starks is not going to be there at 32.
Right.
And I will give you the JK11 guarantee. I don't think he's going to be there at 27.
The Eagles could trade up, though.
26.
They got a lot about that.
They could. I don't think he's going that. I think he would be gone in the first 25 picks.
But the good news is, in this top 5 from Lance Zierlein, edge rusher, running back, interior defensive line, tight end, and offensive tackle. 4 of those 5, the Eagles need to focus on in this draft.
That's why if you could trade back into the beginning of the 2nd round
with your 18 fifth-round picks you have,
and then just trade back and get more.
Oh, okay.
You're going to get more.
Yeah.
You go from the 32nd pick into the 2nd round, even if it's one of those top teams that wants to get another 5th-year option. You can easily pick up they're going to get their 2nd round pick and maybe a future 4.
Yeah.
3, whatever. You got to do it.
Yeah, it's going to be
in my mind. You got to do it.
I think this draft is going to be like a depth draft, which might not be sexy for people, but it's important, especially if we're talking about, dynasties and trying to build one. Now's the time to do it, especially to Connor's point. You lost a lot of guys on defense. You need to start rebuilding that thing. All right, coming up next, we'll check our text line. Also, we'll get back to the Phillies. This show predicted a win total of over 90 games, all 3 of us.
Yes.
Johnny realized something about last year, about how that could be difficult, because they got to 95 wins last year, but my God, did they have a hot start. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Tyrone Johnson.
They're in the Sixers territory with better weather. They're
here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5 The Fanatic. Can you believe it's almost 8 o'clock already?
No, I can.
It's a home opener, too, man. I'm fired up, dude. Like, I love the home opener. And the Phillies do such a good job at it. They do the big party outside that's open to the public, by the way. And then I love how the players walk in through center field, down the steps, through the batter's eye. It's great, man. The Phillies do a great job. I love it. And I know they got a lot of new things this year. We talked to our man Johnny Brazier last week. Haley was at like the media availability where they're able to check out the new foods and check out some of the new sights and sounds, the LED lights. It's going to be crazy, Citizens Bank
Well, it's
Park.
going to be fun. Looking forward to it.
They do a good job. All right, let's check our text line before we get to this sort of realization you had yesterday when you were on the train coming back from D.C.
Oh, I sent you a little video from the train, too.
Yeah, it was a great video. I love trains.
I love the train.
Coop, that's a go-to YouTube thing. Daddy, can I watch just some trains? He just likes watching the trains drive by. It's awesome.
Being on the trains.
Dude, Manayunk. Amtrak drives by.
Right.
He was like, oh, my God.
We were in D.C. at Union Station. We got on a train at 4:05.
Yeah.
Pulled into our house at 6:05.
Yeah, it's amazing.
2 hours.
High-speed
and that
rails,
includes driving from the Wilmington train station to the house.
Yeah, we need more of those.
It's unbelievable.
I'm pro high-speed rail,
It's
man.
so easy.
All right, what do we have on the text line about your enjoyment versus your angst? What's your percentage? What is your personal percentage? And then we'll get to Johnny's realization about the win total.
Yeah, nothing on trains here, but a lot on the Phillies. Faye from Pottstown says, right now I'm at 90-10 watching the Phillies, but as we get closer to fall, that percentage will certainly change. Meanwhile, my husband yesterday is saying, here we go already, typical Nola inning. He's probably more 40-60 already.
Yeah, see, I know there's people out there that are definitely more so angsty than joy. Opening day was the prime example of it. Those first 6 innings, you would think they were about to get eliminated from playoff contention. So there are people. So far, our texters have been, I think, high percentage, more enjoyment.
I think I am a believer that what you put out, you'll get back. So hopefully, if we tend to be more positive,
yes,
more find a little positive angle. Hopefully, that will be something that
worked for the Eagles, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't get it. I just don't understand. I don't understand wanting to be negative on it when something is good.
Now, speaking of, you had a realization yesterday.
Yep.
About the win total. Can you explain to the audience?
Well, I mean, is that there was an amazing number. If I asked you last year about the 95 wins, Connor.
Yeah.
That's pretty great, right?
Yeah, it's a great season.
95 wins.
Yeah.
You too, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Do you realize it was historic? Their 95 wins? Not only because it was one of their best one-loss records ever. The Phillies were second in their modern era, and I'm talking 1900s on.
Right.
1900s on. That was the second best home season you've ever seen. You knew that?
I had that feeling. I mean, they were unbelievable.
But I didn't get that last year. They won 54 home games. That's second best in modern era of Phillies baseball. So we're talking 120 years. That is the second best they've ever done. That number's low, by the way. That means the Phillies haven't been a great home team.
They've never been a great franchise.
History.
The Phillies are not a great franchise.
But even when the Phillies were in their heyday, when they were in the heyday of if you want to go 2007 to 2011, you want to go all those times, they weren't great. They never had the dynamic home season. The Phillies in their run in the 80s had one year where they won 60.
Yeah.
They won 60 and 21. That's absurd. But to me, I didn't realize how historic it was. What also was crazy about that number was when I just look at it, I'm like, wait a minute. They were only one game over 500 on the road, which mean they were a really mediocre road team. That's mediocre.
Yeah.
You're 41 and 40 on the road. You're a team, by the way, that usually does not make the playoffs. So they were so good at home and just Oh, is that one of your words? One of Andrew's words. On the road, which to me is just really. I didn't consume last season thinking that. If someone had said to me, "Well, the Phillies were historically good at home last year," I'd be like, "I didn't get that."
Now let me ask you something. Can they do it again this year?
Yes.
And
but by the way,
but is it more? It has to be more consistent this year.
They absolutely should be. They absolutely should be able to get. You should be able to get 54 wins at home. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to do that, especially with the state of the National League. With the state of the National League, you should absolutely be.
Hell, it's state of your division with two teams that you should beat up on.
It's extremely top-heavy.
Yeah.
And so to me, I think you should be able to win 54 games at home. I can't believe how historic that was for this franchise. That's really weird to me. That's a weird thing.
And historic for this franchise, not historic for Major League Baseball, right? Historic for this franchise. Now, can they keep it up?
By the way, that's winning 2 out of 3. 54 means They won every home series on average. Every 3-game series.
Come on, they're the better. They're a great baseball team.
Over the season, that means you have to sweep some for the ones you split.
Right, exactly.
Or the ones you might occasionally lose, like to the A's.
Yeah, which that happened.
They lost to the worst team at home
right
that
before
they
the
played.
Unbelievable, right?
The worst team they played at home, they lost to. Which is crazy.
It is crazy. All right, give us another text message, Connor, on today's discussion.
Yeah, baseball's just weird. All right, so we have people checking in on the tush push as well.
Yeah, I was about to ask if we've had any coming in because it's heating up.
It is heating up.
I agree with you, Johnny, and you have talked to people.
He does not think that my source tells me he does not believe that they have the votes to get it passed. But
yet
win another championship.
Yeah.
And it just might get at it.
Which, by the way, they didn't win the Super Bowl because of the tush push. Like, it's stupid, but whatever. What do we got?
The NFC teams won it back.
I know.
Yeah, I get it. So Andrew checks in, says, I want the Eagles to run the tush push on the first play of the game against every team that votes to ban it, just to piss them off.
Yeah.
I don't hate that.
I would allow it. Just tush push. I mean, sometimes you get a run for less than a yard to start a game. Why not guarantee 2nd and 8? To start the game, just to prove a point.
Just against the teams that vote against it.
It is amazing that this is actually a story. Like, I don't understand how this has become a story. It really should be. Like, it's weak. It is weak of teams. You got the New York Yankees using the torpedo bat, right? And I know we're going to talk about that in headlines coming up. But it's not illegal. I hear more bitching about the tush push than the torpedo bat. And one is a yard, another is a run.
Well, we've gotten, 3 or 4 games of the torpedo bats?
I know, but
people are going to get upset.
I saw one tush. No, when the Eagles first started doing the tush push, you start hearing this isn't a football play argument.
My buddy Matt in Vegas on Twitter, Sports Talk Matt, already has a poll out today. What's the bigger advantage, the tush push or torpedo bats?
No way.
Yes.
That's an actual...
His poll. And I said, every team could run the tush push. They can't because their personnel gets bullied at the line of scrimmage. Every player in Major League Baseball can use the torpedo bat. It's legal.
Wait, I'm curious.
It's
I know
legal.
You're anti-poll. What are the results so far?
53-47. The tush push is the bigger advantage.
Oh.
The tush push should be...
It's a yard!
Wait a minute, though. The tush push should be the 100% bigger advantage because their teams can't do it.
Right.
Because they don't have personnel. Tush push. I voted tush push.
I voted tush push, too.
Because
it's hard to hit a baseball.
Any player in baseball can use a torpedo bat.
Right.
Not for long.
Why?
We'll see.
They're completely legal.
The band's coming.
No, they're completely legal.
We'll see how this goes. Maybe Nestor Cortez, as I've been trying to tell people for years, just stinks. And
you just don't like his mustache.
No, I don't like his wacky windup. It's a disgrace to baseball.
Johnny Cueto did it forever, girl.
Yeah, I hated him, too.
Just dumb.
All right, coming up next.
Look at me.
We'll reset today's show. Also, if you're going to the ballpark at all this week, you're going to the best ballpark in Major League Baseball.
What?
Tell you more about that next. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Some early injury updates on the Phils. I'm Connor Thomas, and this update is brought to you by Corona. Don't miss the Mike Missinelli Show live from Chickies and Pete's on the Boulevard in the Northeast for the home opener today. Thanks to Corona. Join them from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for awesome prizes, $5 Corona bottles, and $4 Modelo drafts. We got a little bit of some injury updates for the fighting Phils. They took 2 out of 3 in Washington over the weekend, but Trey Turner missed the final 2 games of the series. JT Realmuto missed the series ender, and Trey Turner may not be available again today. It sounds like the Phillies may look to get him some more rest with an off day coming tomorrow. He's dealing with back spasms. We'll keep you updated on his status and JT Realmuto's, who could be available for today's game. The Phils will play the Rockies at 3:05. Christopher Sanchez on the mound for the home opener against German Marquez. With a righty on the mound, we're probably going to see Kyle Schwarber at the leadoff spot anyway. And Todd Zalecky talked about the leadoff flip-flop on Friday.
I also think that Rob has talked to these guys and said, listen, would you guys be willing to be a little bit flexible early in the season? And I think Trey Turner for sure said yes, and I think Kyle Schwarber for sure said yes.
We'll keep an eye on the Phillies as their season continues. The Sixers fell to the Raptors last night. They're off tonight. The Flyers play the Predators tonight at 7. You can get that game live here on The Fanatic. This update's also brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. That feeling of owning your first Mercedes-Benz is hard to believe, but it's real. From the leather stitching to the iconic design, every element of a Mercedes lives up to its reputation. See for yourself at your local dealer. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the 76ers and Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Bill Color.
next here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic, on the home opener of the 2025 Philadelphia Phillies after they took 2 of 3 against the Nationals in D.C. Our question for you to start the show at 610-632-0975 as we've reached the midway point, which is amazing. What is your personal percentage of enjoyment and excitement for Phillies baseball and the angst of how it plays out? Right? Like, I think back to the Eagles in 2017, the year they won the Super Bowl. There were no real expectations. It was year 2 of Wentz, right? So you were expecting a better season. The previous year, his rookie year, they went 7-9. Maybe you expected a little bit more, but you weren't going into the season with, oh my God, this is why they're not going to win the Super Bowl. I don't think people had that expectation. And that's why people fell in love with that team so much, because of how dominant they were. Same with 2022. People were just riding the high of the vibes. Now that there's expectations also lead to angst. I did a topic before with Ray back when I was doing middays, Johnny.
You did a good job there, I think.
Thank you. Do people enjoy seasons less with high expectations?
I remember you doing it, and I remember being pissed off with the topic.
Thank you. That means I did a good job.
Not at your stance, at the idea that we have people that consume sports like that.
Yeah.
I prayed my entire life to see my team be favored.
Yeah.
To be a juggernaut.
Yeah.
To be a team. And it's almost as if people would rather slip on the stupid dog masks and be like, everybody picks against us. Everybody didn't like us. I'd rather my team be great. I want greatness.
I
love greatness. I love the pressure of having to live up to it.
I'd rather go into a season every year as World Series, Super Bowl, Stanley Cup, NBA Finals favorites and lose in Game 7.
So would I.
Every year.
Every year.
Than have a mediocre to below average baseball team.
Not even close. We are of one mind on this. Now, there are people who will probably be able to make a good case for why they feel differently about
the Buffalo Bills. People, I always get that. Ask a Bills fan how they would feel about that because they saw them lose 4 straight.
Bills fans having lived that era, I can tell you Bills fans enjoyed the hell out of that era.
Hell yeah, man.
Every year going to the Super Bowl. Now it sucked.
Of course.
The way it happened.
But imagine losing your division every year for 5 straight years. Imagine being the Cleveland Browns. You know what I mean? Like, the Eagles in the early 2000s, when they go to all those NFC championship games, I get it, the disappointment of not getting over the hump until you finally get to the Super Bowl. But, man, the fact that you were at the hump is amazing. There's teams that don't know how to hump. There's a lot of those teams.
What?
What is with you guys today?
I'm having a fun day today.
What do you say to you guys? Why are you paying me that?
Johnny, we got a text where you brought up your buddy's poll being up. So,
there you go. His buddy,
yeah, both of you.
You're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, WPN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, BZ Media Group Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. And if you're heading to the game today, we'd love to hear from you, and we'll check our text line here in a second. But you're not just heading to any game today, Johnny, and you're not just heading to any home opener. You are heading to the best ballpark in America.
I love it.
I love Citizens Bank Park a lot.
I love Citizens Bank. And to me, I think Citizens Bank Park has just an attitude about it. From the minute you walk in the door, I always feel like I'm being treated like the most important.
Oh, yeah.
They have customer services dialed up to a 10. Absolutely dialed up to a 10.
Yeah.
And I always feel that way, and it's been consistent in all the years that I've ever visited Citizens Bank Park.
Absolutely.
I just feel like they've got the customer service angle down pat.
Yeah, they do.
To me, that's something that you absolutely cannot, you can't underestimate how big that is.
And you sent me an article yesterday. You sent me a lot of stuff, which I appreciated on my Sunday.
On my train ride.
I was having a Sunday fun day, so I appreciated
That's good.
I appreciated the help. That USA Today did a reader poll on all the ballparks. And Citizens Bank Park was ranked the best overall stadium in Major League Baseball.
But we're the worst fans.
Yeah.
But we're the worst. You know what is funny is? People tell you it's the worst place to come watch a football game. Opposing fans shouldn't come.
Right.
This is a national poll.
It's amazing, isn't it?
and it's the best place. So Citizens Bank, so the Philly fans are obviously the best people to come see a game with, right?
Yeah, and here are the ranked them. It was views, which you have the great skyline view. That's why Section 420, get your jokes out of the way. Section 420 is my favorite because you have the beautiful view of Citizens Bank Park. And, oh, by the way, if you turn around, Lincoln Financial Field's right behind you, which is really cool to see. So best views, and not just views of outside the stadium. Like, you can see pretty well throughout. There's a couple of dead areas where you can't see, maybe balls going into the corner, but that's every ballpark. For the most part, I think anywhere you sit is a pretty good seat in the house.
Yeah, it's going to be really good.
Like if you're up top in left field or right field, you're not going to see your corner. But for the most part, you get to see a lot. They have food up there. They have atmosphere, which atmosphere includes the fans. So to your point, Johnny.
Yeah, exactly. So we're supposed to be the worst fans. And in honesty, we're great fans.
But I think it's pretty cool that Citizens Bank Park comes in at number one. And
you know what I think, too, is?
Go ahead.
My daughter is the same age as Citizens Bank Park. It has aged like fine wine.
It has, yeah.
Usually at 20 years, people are saying 21 now.
Yeah, what's next?
People are saying, well, what's the next one going to look like? I don't know any Phillies fan who says, well, they need a new stadium. Citizens Bank Park's excellent, and it's held the test of time.
Yeah, so I have the top 10 in front of me. So Citizens Bank Park, number one. Number two is Globe Life Field, where the Rangers play.
I have not seen it.
That stadium's 4 years old. So,
but that's a retractable dome.
Yeah.
But, I have not seen it, so I can't speak to it.
But to your point, the 21-year-old stadium is above the 4-year-old stadium.
Absolutely.
Petco Park is number three. I'm sure a lot of that has to do with being in San Diego. That
By the
does
way,
help.
You've been there, haven't you? Or
I've never been. No.
Okay, it's absolutely awesome. And I think
you can see the airplane. Isn't the airport right there?
Well, it's more. No, you're more seeing the factories. You're seeing the factory.
Okay.
The old factory is built right into the stadium.
Okay,
it's really cool. There is a district outside the stadium that's gotten a little overrun with some homeless
Stuff
problems and
going on,
everything.
yeah.
But it's still a great place to go see a game.
PNC Park is fourth. The Pirates Stadium. T-Mobile Park is fifth. The Camden Yards is still beautiful. I love Camden Yards.
I love Camden Yards.
And that's an old park, too, since 92.
Here's the only thing, though. We went down to Camden Yards again last year. We went bus trip down and saw the Phillies play there. It's where it's old it is really, really small, cramped, the concourses.
Okay, yeah, the concourse is tight.
The concourses are really tight and crowded. Citizens Bank is better than that because it's younger.
Yeah.
And the new stadiums, they really work,
Right,
really
so that you can move around. Because people realize that not everybody's sitting and watching the game all 9 innings,
absolutely.
Right? Comerica Park for the Tigers, 7th. Busch Stadium for the Cardinals is 8th. Great American Ballpark for the Reds is 9th. And Kauffman Stadium, which is the Royals, is 10th. So no, Wrigley and Fenway, which is interesting because I would think a lot of people would vote for those just for the historic nature of the ballparks, but they're old. But I like them a lot. I've been to both. I thought Wrigley's old.
Right.
It's, I think, only still there because of its historic nature.
There's a lot of, I've been to Wrigley probably 5-6 times. A lot of terrible sight lines.
Yeah. They have the damn posts. You're sitting behind a post if you get a bad seat.
Fenway Park, a lot of bad sight lines.
See, I had a good view. I sat in right field. It was great spot.
You are a new era of Fenway Park.
Yes.
When I first would go to Fenway Park when I was younger than you,
the seats were facing the wrong way.
The seats faced. You had to sit like this.
The outfield.
You had to sit like this, and you had to sit sideways.
Whose idea was that?
You had to sit sideways in your seat. By the way, that was the 80s. In the 80s, you had to do that. They hadn't redone it. It's a beautiful place, and Yawkey Plaza is, unreal.
Yeah, it's so
great.
much fun. That's the one minus the Citizens Bank Park. There's nothing to do around it.
Well, there will be
soon
when the Battery opens.
Yeah,
that'll
absolutely.
be big.
All right, coming up next, we'll get back to our text messages. Also, today's headlines with Connor Thomas, and we have more Eagles nuggets to get to. John Kincade has been tracking something with the Philadelphia Eagles that could be maybe a tell of things to come for the draft, which is less than a month away. Don't forget Thursdays until the draft. Andrew DeCecco will be in studio for an hour to help us break down the draft. But coming up at 8:25 today, football guy John Kincade, maybe GM John, has something that he's been spotting with the Eagles with their pre-draft analysis. It's Kincade and Salciunas on this Monday morning. I hope you have a safe driving to work today. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Mike Missinelli, Bill Colarulo, and Ray Dunn. They have a lot to say about it.
is 8:10 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. We get to today's headlines with Connor Thomas here momentarily. I do want to sneak in one text message before we get to today's headlines, but I just saw a tweet from Rob Motti. There's no way Mike Tomlin is speaking the truth. So Rodgers Watch is still happening.
Oh, boy.
Which I can't believe.
Is he really?
Anybody is actually still pushing for this. Look, by all reports, like, there are teams that want him. It's just up to Rodgers. I can't believe anybody's wanting Rodgers this much where they're going to say, we'll give him his time. It's odd to me.
What do you mean you can't believe it? Look at some of the quarterbacks in the NFL.
I know. Well, again, I can't believe some of the quarterbacks in the NFL. I can't believe that Shedeur Sanders is going to get drafted probably third overall.
You know my conspiracy theory on this, right?
What's that?
Haley will know the date. Pat McAfee has a sold-out show in Pittsburgh. It's either this week or next week. I think Aaron Rodgers shows up and makes the announcement that he's going to be a Steeler that day. That is my That's my prediction.
It's his decision. It's LeBron James.
He's such an egomaniac, and he's such a declining asset.
Yeah.
That he just thinks he's that important. And America, the majority of America thinks he's a kook.
Yeah, but I don't think people care. Honestly.
That date is April 9th, by the way.
April
It's
9th?
April 9th. That's what they're so it's next week. I'm guessing that's when he makes he shows up, pulls out the Steeler jersey.
It's like a selection day for high school kids.
Put the hat on.
Yeah.
He is a He is an energy vampire.
He's an attention whore.
No, the man is an energy vampire. He is just somebody that is going to. It is always going to be about Aaron, and it better be about Aaron.
So
and Mike Tomlin, you are going to hate. You're going to hate it.
Here's Rob Mahdi's tweet. Mike Tomlin says he stayed in touch with Aaron Rodgers, but didn't want to elaborate on the conversations. Tomlin says there's no update, and he's not feeling, quote, unsettled about the quarterback position. Tomlin says he's comfortable with Mason Rudolph as QB1. Quote, that's why we brought him back.
That's
no,
why
you're not.
That's why he knows the answer's done.
Yeah,
he already knows the answer.
We're fine with Mason Rudolph as QB1. Get the hell out of here. All right, give us one text message before we get to today's headline.
All right, no name on this one, but they say if you're already full of stress and angst about the Phillies, you truly suck at life and need some new perspective. If you're going to let yourself be angry, stressed, etc. for the next 6 months, I'd say you're not equipped to handle being a sports fan and need to find a new hobby because this one is beating you down.
I get being at a game and it's a close game and you want to see your team win because you paid for the tickets to be there. Like, I get that. Like watching game one of the regular season of 162 games and complaining about approach and all kinds of stuff.
I can't believe
amazing.
I had that interaction today with one of my best friends.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous to me. It's your second best team in baseball scoring runs, most likely team to take a walk in baseball. I don't know what. Like, come on, and it's 3 games. The sample size is too small, but the sample size looks damn good to me right now. That offense looks great. Have your hitting shoes on, boys, because what do the Phillies notoriously do? Start out slow at the plate.
yeah.
What if we had a hot April with the bats? What if it really, the bats didn't take a long time? That could be a new thing for us.
Could be.
I like it.
All right, it's time now for today's headlines with Connor Thomas.
Today's headlines with Connor Thomas.
What do we got and who is it brought to us by?
It's brought to us by our friends at Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com. Yeah, we've mentioned it a couple times. We're starting with it. Remember, because I know we've got thoughts, about a 6-minute segment here. Yankees, torpedo bats. If you haven't seen the story, the Yankees have developed a new-looking bat that is technically legal under the rules of Major League Baseball, where they have made, I guess, the sweet spot have more wood. It juts out kind of in the middle of the barrel, and that's why they're calling it a torpedo bat. They have been crushing the ball to start the season. It's a different bat, and people online are not happy about it.
Why are they not happy, Connor?
Because it's different and
because
it's the Yankees?
Because it's different.
Because the ball went boom the other day.
No, because it's different. I mean, it's like, but the rules of the game, it is completely legal. It's completely legal. Your bat is not allowed to go past a certain circumference at its highest point. Mm-hmm. It does. It's fine.
Here's my argument. Like in the past, we've seen, everyone remembers the old George Brett clip of the pine tar too high up the bat and stuff like that. There are some things that baseball is super, super strict about with what you can and can't use.
All right.
It feels very weird to me that one team in baseball is using a bat built differently than all the other teams.
But it's legal.
Yeah, other teams
Everybody can do it today.
Other teams can do it. Look, I'll tell you this. If they did not hit 9 home runs in Game 2 of the season, this is not a story. They hit 9 home runs, it's become a story. Now, 3 of the 9 home runs came from Aaron Judge, who does not use the bat. So
why is every team today not ordering torpedo bats?
By the way, Cody Bellinger hit a home run. He also doesn't use the bat. So 4 of the 9 home runs that I know, I don't know about Goldschmidt. I don't know about Chisholm. I know does use it. I don't know about Volpe and Austin Wells and Oswald Pereza. They all hit home runs on Saturday. I don't know if they all used the torpedo bat. I know for a fact that Judge and Bellinger did it. That's 4 of your 9 home runs.
Yeah, I think it's dumb. I think
Why do you think it's dumb, though? It's within the rules.
Yeah, but like there's some things where the rules need to be altered. Like you don't see it until you see it. That just, to me, that feels weird to see one team using different bats. And I don't want to see, maybe this is just the stupid, like, I'm a baseball guy thing, but I don't want to see the entire baseball league go to torpedo bats. That just doesn't. They look dumb. I don't know, man.
They look dumb?
Just use the same damn bats you've been using.
Use a bat that's legal. If you're using a legal bat, use it.
Yeah, but sometimes...
And every team can do the same thing.
Sometimes rules need to be amended. I think this is one that needs to be
But
amended.
why does it need to be amended?
Because it looks stupid.
Because it looks stupid.
Gives them an advantage.
That's ridiculous.
You don't know if it clearly.
Come on, Connor. That's ridiculous.
You can't give me ridiculous. You guys have lost your mind about the new NFL kickoff rule that affects 1% of the game because you don't like the way it looks.
No, it changes the entire game. It takes away. Yes, it does.
If you're starting at the 35-yard line, it changes.
It changes parts of the game.
It takes away an entire part of the game.
Yes, but you guys don't like it visually. Andrew said that many times.
No, but you're going visual.
I just think it looks dumb.
There's no reason to ban that.
I'm not saying to ban it.
Ban the bats, ban the Yankees, kick them out of the sport. Cheaters.
That's crazy. Okay, that's crazy.
All right, we'll move on to this.
Wait, if the Phillies start using the torpedo bats, you'll be like, wow,
by
Bryce,
the way,
look at Bryce's torpedo bats.
Yeah, maybe some of those golf shots that they take when they swing balls outside the strike zone usually, maybe they'd be hits. Maybe
they're
it would
a
be
changed
hits.
team, Johnny.
I hope so.
All right, so ESPN, speaking of teams that are good but didn't win at all, the ESPN crew is releasing a new documentary from the same people who brought you The Last Dance. And it is on the Kansas City Chiefs of this past year because they were expecting to three-peat, and now they got all of this feature film stuff that they've got to put out for a team that ended up getting smoked in the Super Bowl.
I love this story. I love it so much.
So would you watch just the final episode, or are you watching the entire series?
I'm not watching a whole series.
I don't care enough about the Chiefs to watch the entire series. I will watch the last episode. Like, I need to see how they end this story.
Just watch them cry?
Yeah.
I would love to watch all the lead up to it because there was an arrogance about the entire process, so be it, that made. I would love to see the Chiefs' arrogance on display.
Well, remember the three-peat, who has it?
Pat Riley.
But they worked out.
Yeah, they did.
They worked out a deal.
Yeah, with Pat Riley.
That
in
if
advance.
they won,
yeah, exactly.
So that was something that they were working on behind the scenes, and then the Eagles just beat the crap out of them.
That's so awesome.
Can't wait for that.
I love that. I can't wait to watch that one.
Yeah.
Can we watch? You know what? You can watch a series. My wife likes to sometimes read a book, the end of a book, and then she'll go back and read the whole book that she's never read. I think that's psychotic.
I don't trust her anymore.
She loves that.
Love your wife, but I don't think I can trust her.
Loves to read a book like that.
Your garage is way too clean.
Oh, yes.
And reading the book from the end first is, I don't know.
You could eat off the floor in the garage.
I know you can.
Don't do it, though. That's more indoor-outdoor helps with that, too.
All right, coming up next, GM John has been tracking something the Eagles have been doing with their pre-draft workouts and pre-draft meetings. And it could be a telltale sign of what's to come. Also, Sean McDermott just spoke. The hypocrite spoke again on the tush push. It is Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Time for the home opener for the Phils. I'm Connor Thomas, and today is the day the Phils will open their home slate of the schedule for the 2025 season. They're taking on the Colorado Rockies at 3:05 p.m. at Citizens Bank Park. The Phils started their season already. They went down to Washington and took 2 out of 3 over the Nats over the weekend. But today it's Christopher Sanchez on the mound at the bank, facing off against German Marquez of the Rockies with a righty on the mound. We were expecting Kyle Schwarber to be leading off the game, and they've been flip-flopping that based on handedness. Todd Zalecki talked about the lineup switches on Friday.
What is your...
And that was not it. Hang on one second. And here is Todd Zalecki.
I also think that Rob has talked to these guys and said, listen, would you guys be willing to be a little bit flexible early in the season? And I think Trey Turner for sure said yes, and I think Kyle Schwarber for sure said yes.
So the players are on board with the changes that the Phillies are trying to make, but we might have seen Kyle Schwarber today anyway. Trey Turner is probably going to get another day of rest here. Nothing fully confirmed, but he's been dealing with back spasms, so Rob Thompson said he might get him another day off. JT Realmuto, who was out on Sunday after foul fouling a ball off his foot on Saturday, could be available to play. We'll keep you updated. Sixers fell to the Raptors last night. The Flyers play the Predators tonight at 7. You can hear that game live here on The Fanatic. This update's brought to you by Groundworks, your expert for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the 76ers and Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
if you look up hypocrite in the dictionary, Sean McDermott's face should be there.
No, somebody else's too.
Who else?
Connor Thomas's.
Why?
I'm going to just read
What the hell did I do?
Our own,
We went hypocrite on you.
our own Ricky B on the text line.
Oh.
Ricky B, who played Major League Baseball.
I've never heard him be called Ricky B in my life.
I was trying to hide his identity. The texters.
Oh, okay. Ricky Bautista.
He says, you're so right, John. Ask Connor if the tush push should be amended. You'd be a total, then you're a hypocrite if you're saying the baseball bat.
I like that play.
That is exactly.
He likes it.
Then he embraces just being a hypocrite, but that's cool. As long as you acknowledge you're just being a hypocrite, it's fine.
I'm not being a hypocrite.
You are being a hypocrite because there's no reason to change the bats. There's no reason. It's legal.
What do you mean? There's a reason. It's the Yankees.
It's legal by the rule. So the Phillies go get the bats if you want them. By the way, players, if you don't know, when you're the real good players, you don't pay for your bats. They send you boxes of bats. When the boxes come at the homestand, you usually see the cardboard boxes set up where the guys get new bats right at the homestand. They come back from the road trip. There's a bunch of bats waiting for them right there at their locker.
Yeah, but I'm not here to be impartial. I'm here to say screw everybody else.
Have your players try it.
Okay.
It might help our players.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe
Kyle
Yankees
Schwarber might hit a 600-foot home run.
Maybe the Yankees are just smarter. I guarantee you're going to see some Phillies try it.
Listen,
Probably.
the Yankees just figured out they can grow facial hair. They're not smart.
That's true. That is a good point.
Screw that organization. Screw their stupid bats. Ban them from the sport.
All right, so a couple updates on the owners' meetings and the tush pushes. So, by the way, this is good journalism. Dave Zangaro went and found Shane Steichen.
Very good.
Shane Steichen is in favor of keeping the tush push. So
I guarantee you Kellen Moore is too.
He said Nick Sirianni spoke to him about it. And remember the quote we read to you earlier on the show. Nick Sirianni said that Jonathan Gannon, Shane Steichen, our head coaches
and Kellen Moore,
our head coaches in this league because of the tush push. Now, obviously, he doesn't totally mean that, but what he's saying is they're a part of my coaching tree. They better not vote against the tush push.
I thought about this yesterday too with that comment. Remember when Sirianni talked about the fertilization in the 7 weeks into his career or whatever?
We all fertilize.
Baby.
He now has a tree with fruit on it.
Yeah, he does.
With 3 pieces of fruit on it.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable to me.
And he's got a Super Bowl ring and two Super Bowl appearances.
That's crazy.
All right, so hypocrite Sean McDermott. Sean
really,
McHypocrite.
He's soft, considering the part of town he comes from. Those guys in the Catholic League, they portray themselves as being these big tough guys.
Want to remind...
He's meowing right now.
Just want to remind everybody, before I read you this tweet from Mike Garafolo, that Sean McDermott and the Buffalo Bills, the team that he is the head coach of, ran the tush push the second most times in the NFL over the last 2 years. And remember, we read that article where somebody did the data over the last 3 years. The Eagles were the only team doing it 3 years ago. The Bills only started implementing it 2 seasons ago. So the numbers are a little bit skewed. I imagine if you took away year one, it would be even tighter in terms of how many times the Eagles ran it, how many times the Bills ran it. This from Mike Garafolo. Sean McDermott says being, quote, proactive. He's being proactive on banning the tush push to prevent injuries. Even if the data is not there now, it is the best way to proceed. Proceed with caution in case injuries do occur. Let's not act like, throwing passes over the middle of the field might be more dangerous than a tush push.
You know what?
Just say, should we ban slant routes? Because that could be bad for the health of a slot receiver.
The unprotected receivers. Kevin Stefanski of the Browns.
Yes.
With Jeff McClain right now. I do not think the tush push should be legislated out of the game.
Good.
Kevin
Stefanski's a good coach.
They said Kevin Stefanski was also spotted using a urinal where Sean McDermott went in and closed the door of a stall.
Quote,
that's all I'm saying.
We're going to always act in a way that's best for the health and safety of the players, end quote. And again, I will once again remind you, like I did before I read the tweet, the Bills ran the play the second most times in the NFL. So if you are to tell me that you believe it is for safety reasons you want to get rid of the play, why did you have your quarterback and your offensive lineman and everybody that did the pushing of the tush run it the second most times in the NFL. Hypocrite.
It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me.
Like, if they ran it 0 times and this was his reasoning, you still don't have the data to back it up because there have been 0 documented injuries to the play. But okay, you never ran it before. So you go, I don't like it. We don't think we're putting our quarterback in the best position possible health-wise. All right, so be it. He stuck with his guns. The fact that they ran it the second most times is what makes him an absolute hypocrite.
Wow, it's really crazy.
Like, imagine if the Eagles said, you know what, we believe the RPO should be banned. Like, that's their offense, right? The Eagles' offense is an RPO offense. Imagine if they said it should be banned because Jaden Daniels did it really well.
And I got to apologize because Bill Colarulo says Bill Colarulo is pro sitting down to pee.
I am as well sometimes. If my legs are tired, sometimes you need a nice sit. What?
What?
I just don't get it. I don't get it, but that's all right. To each his own.
Yeah, wow.
To each their own. Bill Colarulo's pro.
Learn a lot about some of my coworkers
We do,
today.
exactly.
Johnny, what do you mean?
We should never run into a traffic jam at the urinals when we work.
I like to switch it up. Variety is the spice of life.
Interesting.
Wow.
That's unbelievable.
That's okay.
That's
I got
all right.
bad knees.
You said that comfortably on the air.
I absolutely.
Likes a good sit when he pees. There he is.
Sometimes.
There we go.
He said that on the air. That's on record. By the way,
skin.
tough guy Mike Tomlin. His perspective is the player safety component. He's open-minded.
Well, if
So I
he's
don't know what that means.
If he's open-minded, what open-minded is that you are willing to look at the data.
Yes.
And then make your opinion. So Mike Tomlin's decision should be exactly what it is. There's no data to back up anything.
I just can't believe this is like right now, every reporter that covers the NFL is putting out some sort of quote from a head coach about the tush push.
Yep. It is great.
It's amazing.
You know what's great, though, about it is it's amazing how awesome the Eagles are, that the rest of the league is breathlessly trying to find ways to legislate against them or do whatever they got. I love it. Absolutely love it. To me, that is a huge, huge compliment.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Now, part of the tush push is how good your offensive line is. Johnny, you've been tracking something with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, I've been watching a lot of the guys who cover the NFL talking about the pre-visits. By the way, the Eagles have the second most percentage of offensive tackles already scheduled for the pre-visits.
Interesting. Who's number one? Do you know?
Second most. I believe the Jets.
And they
believe it's the Jets.
They desperately need an
I believe it's the
offensive
Jets
lineman.
that are going to do that. So Atlanta Falcons, right there with them too. So the Eagles are, though, right at the top of teams that are choosing offensive tackles, the largest percentage of players for in-person visits being offensive tackles.
Yeah.
That's not by coincidence.
No, that tells you that they're eyeing tackles in this draft and the Lane Johnson heir apparent.
It does not mean that the first-round pick will necessarily be that.
Right.
But what it does mean is I think you can count on one of the early pick. One of the first 2 days picks is going to be an offensive tackle. So you're looking at right tackles. You're looking at somebody who is going to replace Lane Johnson.
We've talked about.
By the way, this is so smart.
This is
in this draft.
It's so Eagles.
But they are among the heaviest right now. So it's strange to me, though. It's a copycat league, right, Andrew?
Yes.
The Eagles are winning a lot based on their dominance of their offensive line. Why are more teams not copying and going, we want to build what the Eagles build?
That's why I ask the question every year. They're so focused on, like, Brock Purdy's about to get paid a ton of money. They're losing their Hall of Fame left tackle.
I don't understand it. I really, it'll continue to baffle me.
So, speaking of Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers, I'm going to thoroughly enjoy the fall of the Niners.
Oh, yes.
They deserve it.
We're going to celebrate that as an organization.
Like Deebo Samuel being in the division now, like I'm ready to go to war now that he's with the
doesn't want
Commanders.
you to be too critical of people, though, because it can affect their psychology.
Yeah, of course, even though he's the one that was being an ass.
Yeah.
Anyways, they have a major decision to make by tomorrow. Major decision to make. We'll tell you what next. We'll check out our text line on the Phillies, and now once again the tush push. A lot of reporters asking the head coaches all across the NFL. There's more support to ban it, and I hate that. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Tyrone Johnson, Ricky Vitalico, and Silvana Keller.
Teaser for you there.
Yeah, before we get back to our text messages and this 49ers discussion.
Yes.
Because they have a major decision that they have to make by tomorrow. Johnny wants to play a little game with us.
Okay, as far as the payroll as part of your revenue here is number one. So they list out the payroll revenue for teams in the NFL. I mean, in Major League Baseball. The Phillies begin the year fourth as it currently stands right now, which is your payroll, your tax, which is the tax on the payroll, the luxury tax and everything.
Yeah.
Payroll to revenue. The Phillies are fourth in Major League Baseball, 67%, 67.2% their payroll, their tax, everything, as the percentage of their revenue. 3 teams are ahead of them in baseball, which means spending more money they earn. Spending really like spending the money, not just putting it away. So John Middleton putting his money where his mouth is, spending. The 3 teams that are ahead of them, Connor and Andrew, go back and forth.
Dodgers is one.
Dodgers is 1, they're 2.
Mets are 1.
Mets are 1.
I'm going to guess Yankees.
No. New York Yankees are 11th.
American League team?
Yes.
Texas Rangers.
Texas Rangers are 7th. It's the
That was my next
Toronto
guess.
Blue Jays.
Oh, okay.
The Toronto Blue Jays spending their backsides off as far as their combined. They're spending the money they're making. They're spending 71.5% of the revenue they take in.
Because they still haven't paid Vlad, and
Correct.
who knows if they do.
But right now, if they were to pay Vlad, which is funny, you bring that up, they would move into second in baseball.
Yeah.
So Toronto's doing everything they can to try to win and try to give their fans a winner.
Kind of.
And
Kind of, yeah.
John Middleton is too.
Like they paid Scherzer, and Scherzer's
Yeah.
already.
So you know where they're at, though? Because remember you had the Shohei Ohtani news that he was on a plane to Toronto?
Yeah.
And then he wasn't?
Wasn't it UC Kikuchi had he had like a party, and there was a lot of sushi at the party, and they were like, "Oh,
Yeah.
this must be because of Shohei."
Just a wild put
Which
together.
is that's horrible. Oh, there's sushi, so it must be Shohei Ohtani's coming here. Like, what?
But what I think it is like you have a vacation planned, you have all this money set aside, and then the vacation gets canceled. And you're like, well, I already saved the money. I think that's just them like, okay, well, we were going to pay Ohtani, so let's use all of this money to just get whoever we
I
can.
just find that interesting. They got a lot of young players on that team.
They did pay Jeff Hoffman.
Okay.
They
Gave
did.
him a big contract.
They did give him a
Big
big
contract.
contract. His entrance is awesome, by the way.
I hope he
What
does
is
well.
it? I haven't seen
It
it.
was just really cool.
By the
It
way-
was like a light show and everything.
Oh, that's dope.
Even the way it ended, I still will have
I like the guy. Yeah.
good memories of Jeff Hoffman.
I like the guy a lot. It's,
I
just,
enjoyed.
it's a shame how
I
just-
enjoyed watching him pitch until the Mets series.
Yeah, and he just blew up.
He's
Just
Andrew's
blew up.
best friend.
Yes, he is. All right, so Brandon Ayuk and the San Francisco 49ers. Well, the 49ers have a major decision that they have to make
And you said by tomorrow, right?
by tomorrow, April 1st. He is due a $22.85 million roster bonus if
Wow.
he is on the team's roster by whatever time Tuesday. Now, he's still recovering from his injury,
Yes, and they found nobody willing to trade for him.
and nobody wants him.
But I think because they know they're sitting there on a bomb, a ticking bomb,
Yeah.
and they don't want to let them off the ticking bomb. They said, "We'll sign him when he's free. We'll
Yeah.
sign him when you have to cut him."
If they do. So here's the deal. There's already issues in San Francisco. They're trying to salary dump.
Oh yes,
You look at the moves they made. We people were saying that the Eagles just cut a lot of salary this offseason. Look at the 49ers. It's like times 10 the amount of salary that they're trying to dump. So if you're the San Francisco 49ers, you got to prepare to pay Brock Purdy. Now you want Brock Purdy to still have a weapon, and Brandon Ayuk is still a very talented wide receiver, but he's coming off of an torn ACL and MCL. And who knows how good he is when he comes back. I don't know exactly when he's coming back. I imagine he's going to be good for toward the start of the season because October was ages ago. But they have to make a decision by tomorrow if they want to keep him on. Like, straight up cut him because, like you said, nobody wants to trade for him. My guess is they're going to keep him. But that's a lot of money that they're all of a sudden signing up for when they've been trying to shed salary this offseason.
and if they're not going to extend him, they can't lower that number.
No.
For this year, so they're screwed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty interesting. I'm loving the downfall of the San Francisco.
I'm enjoying it
49ers.
better than ever.
It's-
Did you see Kyle Shanahan's in the coaches picture?
No.
Okay, they took the NFL coaches
annual picture. Sirianni's usually never in it. Was he in it this year?
Sirianni was in it this year.
Because he's
And guess-
he's flashing the ring.
Yeah, and guess what? Well, he didn't have the ring yet because
I
he
know.
can't get it. But the idea, Sirianni did something, though, that was some would consider a baller move. I do not, but I'm a stickler for it. What did he do, Connor? Did you look it up?
No, I did not.
Okay. Sirianni did something in the coach's picture that no other coach did. Do you know what it is?
He
Threw up the middle
smiles
fingers.
and closed his
No.
eyes.
By the way, Kyle Shanahan looks like he's constipated, which, by the way, is the way he goes through life. In the picture. Nick Sirianni did something. Any guess?
No.
He wore shorts.
Oh, what's wrong with that?
Every coach
wore pants
flat.
in the photo.
In the
Trendsetter. That's why we're winning and they're
He's
not.
the only guy there in
Shanahan was the only guy in shorts.
Oh, no, seriously.
Sirianni.
Oh, I thought you said Shanahan.
No, I did say Sirianni. No, Shanahan looked constipated.
My bad.
Sirianni was the only coach there in shorts.
And I respect.
Well, the fifth core value is shorts.
I didn't realize that.
Comfortability. That's probably one of the core values.
Probably what
I wouldn't be surprised. Comfortability.
But to me, I will give you credit, Nick Sirianni. It's sort of a baller move, I guess, to be like, well,
I'm the champion.
Everybody
here.
shows up dressed a certain way. I'm showing up different. When the coaches' meetings were in Hawaii, they used to wear shorts and stuff.
Yeah.
This is inside a hotel.
He's going shorts.
He went shorts. All the other guys wore pants.
Connection, accountability, comfortability, core values.
Maybe he wants to show the legs off.
Maybe. Andy Reid, by the way, has chimed in on the tush push.
He doesn't want it bad. Right?
I don't know if you can argue it either way. I felt like it's a successful play. If there's a problem with injury, possible injury, then you've got to look at it. So I would listen probably to the medical people on it, see what they think about the body mechanics. You don't want to go through something like Buffalo went through. If it's a neck situation, it's going to be a risk. I think you have to listen to the whole story. There's a whole medical side of it. I give them credit because they've done a heck of a job with it. Tough play to stop. But then you're listening to that and the medical side, and you probably could go either way with it. But I would say if it's putting a player in a bad position, then you probably have to do something about it.
No. Not at all.
There's zero data.
There's no
Andy,
data.
none.
Come on, Andy. And I believe Andy. I don't believe Andy's voting that way. The Chiefs will not. If the Chiefs vote to ban the tush push, gosh, do they look like a big bunch of
then I'm banning the shuffle pass.
They look like such a bunch
shuffle
of
pass. I'm banning it.
Because it looks weird.
All right, what do we got on the text line, Connor?
All right, we have people checking in still on the Fightins, and we have a check from Mark from Clementon, who says, I'm so happy baseball's back, especially the Phillies starting up. The only angst I have is with the lineup. I wish they would just use the same top of the lineup no matter if it's a left-handed pitcher or right-handed pitcher.
I agree. Now, it doesn't help that Turner's missed games 2 and 3 already, so we don't know what they would have done after game 2. Like, Schwarber was slated to be the leadoff hitter in game 2 because of the left-right thing. Then he had a very good game. Was he going to be right back in the leadoff spot in game 3? I mean, I guess if Turner's playing today, we'll find out today. Because Marquez is a right-handed pitcher.
Right. And as I told you yesterday, it seemed like he is not playing him today. To try to get him.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out on that. We'll keep you posted. The lineup won't come out till the Mike Missinelli show. This is ridiculous, this tush push stuff. We'll keep you posted on what's being said around the league meetings right now as it continues to climb the amount of people in support of banning the tush push. Maybe not this year, Johnny, but soon. Cowards. Hypocrites.
Bunch of wimps.
All right, we check our text line. We reset the show coming up next. It's Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Game 1 at the bank. I'm Connor Thomas, and it's time for the Phil's home opener. They took 2 of 3 in Washington over the weekend, so an opening series win for them, and now they come to the bank. The Phils will start their home slate versus the Rockies today at 3:05 p.m. Christopher Sanchez gets the ball in the home opener. German Marquez will throw for the Rockies, and with a righty on the mound, we can expect to see Kyle Schwarber at the leadoff spot again. Todd Zalecki talked about the lineup flip-flop on Friday.
I also think that Rod has talked to these guys and said, listen, would you guys be willing to be a little bit flexible early in the season? And I think Trey Turner for sure said yes, and I think Kyle Schwarber for sure said yes.
So it sounds like the players are on board with the switches. We'll see how it plays out. We'll also see on the statuses of Trey Turner and JT Realmuto, who missed time in the National Series. Turner may get another day to work on his back spasms, JT. The thought is he could be available for today's home opener, so we'll see when the lineup comes out. The Sixers fell to the Raptors last night, 127-109. They'll play the Knicks tomorrow night. Flyers play the Predators tonight at 7 p.m. You can hear that game live here on The Fanatic. And it sounds like momentum is growing to try and ban the tush push. We'll keep you updated on the future of the Eagles' signature play. This update's brought to you by Rapid Radios. Their instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code RADIO and get an extra 5% off. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the 76ers and Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Vacation, business trip.
Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Happy home opener. As this is a championship Monday on The Fanatic, presented to us by Pierce Phelps, Bryan Heating and Air Conditioning Contractors. Visit nopaybryant.com. So, Citizens Bank Park just put out the tweet, like a little need to know before you go kind of deal.
Bring a rain jacket.
Yeah. The gates open up today at 12:35. So earlier today because it's the home opener. They have the special walk-in from center field and all that kind of stuff. And remember bag policy. Remember that.
You got to have the bags.
It's got to be clear unless it's a diaper bag, right? All that kind of stuff. But the lots are opening up early. So today, if you took off for the home opener, the tailgating lots for lots M and O open up at 10 o'clock. So in an hour from now. And then 12 o'clock for P through X. I don't know which. Oh, those are the non-tailgating lots, which I learned about that recently.
The non-tailgating lots.
Looks delicious.
Is that ever enforced?
Yes.
Yes. My dad
they
and
do
I
go around and they have the guy in the cart that stops them.
My dad and I went to a game, I think 2 years ago, and all we wanted to do was have just a beer or two before we went in, and we had Wawa, like hoagies or whatever, right? And we brought folding chairs. You're not allowed to bring your own folding chair.
You're not allowed to set up outside your car. You're not allowed to sit and eat with your hood up, with your trunk up, and sit on the back of your car and eat a sandwich.
However,
that's considered tailgate.
I saw a loophole.
What?
There was somebody that had a truck, and they put their chairs in the bed of the truck.
That's a great
move. And they sat in the chairs, and they can't say it. It's their it's their vehicle. They're allowed to do whatever they want.
Okay.
I'm in my truck.
Literally, they went up. I was like, so what's... Well, I didn't rat the guy out. I was just like, I wonder what's going on there. And I saw them go over, and the people were like, this is my car. I can do whatever I want. They're like, yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, fair play.
Now, if you're in the front seat of your car drinking a beer, then you're getting po-po action, right?
Since when is that? No, don't do that. Don't do that at all.
Be careful. But yeah, the lots opening up. Some lots are opening up at 10 o'clock today. Well before first pitch, if you want to get some tailgating action in.
I feel bad for the Rockies.
Why?
They're a terrible team. They're going to be the worst team in the National League, probably. And they're coming into a hammered Philadelphia Phillies crowd, opening day at the bank, and they're just going to get eviscerated.
I don't think it's going to be a hammered crowd today. How many people took off?
I don't think so.
I don't think many people took off today. Today's a half-day day. It's 3 o'clock.
Yeah, today's a half day.
You're done at noon.
Today's not a wild scene at 11 in the morning.
Yeah, today's take your kid out of school early today, right? It's, if this was Saturday.
It's going to be like 70-something today. Nice weather.
It's not going to be nice weather.
People still go to their
It's not going to be a nice afternoon.
It'll be nice before the game.
It'll be warm.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be nice.
That's nice.
People still go to their jobs. Not everybody's like us where we're done at 10 o'clock in the morning, Connor. You're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia.
Connor's having a little off day today.
Is.
A little bit of an off day.
Hey, maybe you guys are having an off day.
It's a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. As long as I got the legal in. We're
exactly.
Good. All right, so our main topic today is we've also gotten into the tush-push discussion because the league meetings are happening right now, and there's a lot of cowards out there, or hypocrites, because Sean McDermott is a hypocrite, trying to push this anti-tush-push thing. It's amazing that that's the number one talking point right now. With all the access that reporters have, the number one talking point right now is the tush push. But we're also talking about the Phillies. What is your personal percentage of just enjoying the Phillies versus the angst of how it could finish, watching things play out, going, that's something that could be an issue come playoff time. That's an issue that has been an issue during the playoffs. Base running is something that John keeps a close eye on. Alec Boehm pissed me off yesterday, despite having a nice opening series. Alec Boehm, after watching Kyle Schwarber jump out of the way of 2 fastballs, and then eventually getting plunked, swinging at the very first pitch of the next at-bat and grounding into an inning-ending bases-loaded double play. That is a cardinal sin of the sport of baseball, and I don't care if it's Game 3 of 162. That's going to piss me off because little stuff like that pisses me off. This team's going to be good. This team's going to win games. If they win the World Series, this conversation ultimately won't matter. But the here and now, that's something that drives me up a wall because that's just bad baseball. So I'm 80-20.
Don't blame the hitting coach.
No, blame Alec Bohm for that.
It brings me back. Blame Alec Bohm. But the thing is, I think Alec Bohm had a really great opening weekend.
Yeah.
About a really good opening weekend. I'm not gonna be on Alec Bohm Friday.
But I'm gonna keep an eye on this. Watch, he's swinging first pitch twice today. Grounding in the double play with the base load's bad. I don't care who it is or what count, it's bad. Swinging at the first pitch after Kyle Schwarber dodged out of the way of 2 fastballs and then eventually got plunked, it's cardinal sin.
Are you giving an AS what? Guarantee?
AS 20 guarantee?
That he swings in the first pitch twice today?
No, I can't guarantee you that, but it's probably going to happen.
I got a weird feeling.
That's Alec Bohm.
I hope not. Hope he is in a very good situation.
I sure hope so. All right, what do we have on the text line about the Phillies or the latest with the tush push where all these cowards and hypocrites are trying to get it banned in the NFL?
All right, so we have a check-in here from Dawood in Northeast Philly.
What up, Dawood?
And who says, in fairness with Aaron Nola, because we were talking about his performance earlier today, why is it that in the first 2 games he scores 7 and then 11 runs respectively, and then only 1 when Nola starts? I'm starting to think that this lineup hates him like some of these fans.
Stop.
Look, it's going to happen where you're going to get blanked or whatever. They scored 1 run yesterday.
It happens.
Yeah, look, it wasn't the best day. They were 0 for 20 with runners in scoring position yesterday?
Oof.
Like, that's bad. And that's one of the things that I remember. So before the season started, we do our post-show headlines, which you can watch on our YouTube feed. We always appreciate everybody for checking it out, liking and subscribing, everything that's going on our YouTube feed. I asked John a question. What's something within the first month of the season, regardless of their record, that's going to annoy you?
Yes.
And you said?
Runners in stranded position. And I'm hoping that we see new. We got it all had new. Runners in stranded position.
Yesterday was bad. I think it ended up being 0 for 20. Let me try to double check that. But it was a bad day yesterday. Now the Nationals weren't great with runners in scoring position either. They hit a couple of home runs, which led to their victory. But yeah, bad day. But that's why you fully expect the big offensive performance today.
I expect there's going to be a big day today.
Marquez stinks.
Look, last year they finished a perfect winning 2 out of every 3 at home. 54 wins, which was second all time, by the way. Nice. Second all time in their history,
yeah.
Which is crazy. That is an amazing mark, though, to win 2 out of 3. You got to do that, but on the road, too. I'm glad to see they won a road series. Just go and win as many road series as you can. You don't have to win them all, but win as many road series as you can.
By the way, 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position.
Seemed like 0 for 20 for you.
10 men were left on base yesterday.
There you go.
And, of course, the big double play by Alec Bohm. Give us a text message, Connor.
All right. We have a check-in here from Dave in Mount Laurel who says he's 97.5% positive.
Love
Appreciate
that.
Dave. Just enjoy baseball, people.
That's the kind of person. These are the exact kind of. I wish we could have a section full of people to go watch a game with. That guy, Dave, can be in my section. He's one that I'd want to watch a game with.
Yeah, but
not first inning going, oh, here we go again.
No.
Oh,
I'm going to disagree with you here. You know I'm a positive guy, but you need that person in every section that's just yelling at every player for no reason so you can look at that guy and be like, look at that idiot. Like, you need
that
the
is
balance.
The truth, too, yeah.
Like, listen to this guy. How crazy. They bring you back
I don't think I need it.
No,
I think you're wrong.
I gotta tell you,
I don't need it.
Hey, here's the one thing I don't need at a game, Connor, is the Aaron Rodgers fan. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I'm the big mouth heckler. Look at me. Just enjoy the freaking game. We didn't come to listen to you. We didn't come to hear you. Or when you have to sit behind the person who is doing like baseball commentary the whole game.
Oh, yeah.
You can hear them. That's always a good one to sit behind.
I had a guy.
Oh, look at this. He's swinging at those outside pitches again. He's got to learn to lay off that one. And, they've been working. I'm like, come on.
I was at a game a couple of years ago with my dad. And there was like a cute girl that was sitting in our section. And this dude was like, oh, I'm going to try to like pick her up or whatever. And he started like almost mansplaining baseball to her. And they weren't together.
Oh, no.
They weren't together. She was with one of her girlfriends. He was sitting next to her with one of his friends. And everything that he was saying was wrong.
Love that.
And I'm sitting there talking to my dad. I'm like, we started like taking notes of the things that this guy was saying wrong. That he didn't know like the new rules about the three batters that they had to face.
You
like,
swoop in, be like, actually, girl, the pitch clock.
No,
He's completely wrong about
I just kept my mouth shut and just sat there like, you got to be kidding me, dude. You can't be Mr. I'm going to talk the entire game and be wrong. Wrong the entire game. By the way, Peter Schrager officially leaving the NFL Network.
Well, the thing is, though, is ESPN's...
Like.
Here's the weird thing I don't understand about this Schrager thing. Okay, so Schrager's leaving NFL Network to go to ESPN.
Yes.
The NFL is in talks right now, and it appears that they will be selling the NFL Network to ESPN. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, like, my man, we sat down at the Super Bowl with, NFL Network. You've got Kurt Warner working for the NFL Network. Steve Weish. They're about to become ESPN
employees or whatever, unless he wants to do more than just football.
I don't know. I mean, it's where I'm
not sure.
Can't see it.
Interesting. Coming up next, we see the Dodgers in town this week, Johnny.
Do we?
If the weather holds up.
Yes.
They'll play at least one game. And we'll probably see their big international signing, Roki Sasaki, because he ended up pitching yesterday, so I imagine he'll be scheduled to pitch against the Phillies. We have a human question next. If you missed it, something happened where he could be eaten alive. It is Kincade and Salciunas on this Monday morning, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The Philadelphia 76ers.
Sixers win. Play that song.
final hour of Kincade Salciunas is presented to you by The Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. You need details? Go to Bagster.com.
I got to ask this question about the Sirianni shorts real quick.
I don't know why you'd be wearing shorts at that.
Look, I'm okay.
I'm very surprised why you show up like that. It's just a bad look.
Well, no, I'm okay with it because if you look at the coach, I'm looking at the photo right now for the first time.
Okay.
And a lot of the guys are wearing like golf shirts, which you can either go with the pants or the shorts. Like if you're wearing a dress shirt, you can't go shorts unless you're LeBron.
If you're LeBron, looks so stupid.
Remember he wore that
such a stupid look
with the suit.
Short suit. It was weird.
Stupid look.
I actually like that.
No, you don't. Get the hell out of here.
I would rock that.
All right, so I'm looking at the photo. Do you think Sirianni thought other guys would be wearing shorts? And do you think when he walked in the room, he said, "Damn it"?
Here's what I don't understand. How does he not understand that in an indoor picture, you wouldn't be wearing shorts?
Why does it matter?
Yeah, what's the deal with that?
Because the guys aren't showing up because they know how to dress for the coach's picture.
Whoa.
They're indoors. Most of the coaches.
Why does indoor outdoor
By the way,
have anything to do with it?
Most of the coaches wear pants every year for the outdoor photo. They dress. They dress for it. They don't like they rolling into like like they're running into Walmart to get deodorant.
You sound like Colin Cowherd with the backwards hat thing with this. You can wear shorts.
No, it's not because many people will wear the backwards hat. Not many of the coaches are showing up wearing shorts. It's completely different. He's the oddball. It's not saying you're not because of pointing out something that's incredibly odd doesn't make you the oddball for pointing it out.
I don't think we could go incredibly odd for a man wearing shorts.
He's the guy who did it. The other guys understood the mission. It's the NFL. You're the head coach. You go in taking a picture. You're in a ballroom. You're not out on a beach. When they were in Hawaii, it was commonplace for them to wear.
Yeah, so I have
Hawaiian shirts
from
like
2 years ago when they took a photo outside.
They took it outside.
3 were in shorts.
Right. When it's outside, I totally could understand someone going, "Oh, wait, I'm wearing shorts. It's outside."
Why does this that big of a deal?
Look, it's so funny. This is so funny because it is you. You guys are like, why does everything matter? There are things that matter.
I don't think wearing shorts is one of the things that matter.
There are things that do matter.
See, it's funny. I don't even think...
Do you let your kid wear pajamas out of the house?
Do I let my...
Do you let your kid, like if you were going to a restaurant, I see parents walking in with teenagers to restaurants, and the kids are wearing their pajamas.
No, but...
Slippers, and pajamas. And at some point, I'm like, Mom and Dad, you're losing it here. You don't wear your pajamas.
What if
and
the kids scream and saying, "I don't want to get dressed"?
I'm talking about. I said teenagers.
Oh, teenagers. Okay. My son's 3, so I can't speak on that yet.
Teenagers rolling into a Starbucks in slippers and pajamas.
Yeah, it's not a 5-star restaurant. Let people dress how they want to dress.
No, you don't wear your pajamas and slippers out in the streets, Connor.
What if they're staying at the hotel? What if they're staying at the hotel right next door? There's a Starbucks attached to the hotel.
I bet you they have clothes. I bet you they have a
but if you want to quickly run down, get the coffee, you go back up to your room. I've done that.
Wearing your pajamas. You've worn pajamas and slippers outside of your hotel.
No, I don't wear pajamas.
That's what I'm saying to you.
I wear a T-shirt and shorts.
You don't, then you
but what I wore to bed is what I might wear to Starbucks.
No, well then that's different. You're not wearing pajamas.
Dude, you have so many fashion rules that just came out right now. I don't get any of them.
How about just etiquette rules?
What's etiquette about? Sure.
There is a when we were at the resort. We're at the resort. They go, no open-toed shoes at dinner.
Okay.
And you had guys showing up in slides, and they're like getting all offended.
Because they've been drinking all day.
They're getting all offended. Going, wait a minute. It's like it's all over the website.
Imagine not wearing white shoes for knockout. Imagine not wearing
some people are stupid like that.
White-soled shoes.
There's etiquette. There's etiquette for things.
There's etiquette, Connor.
That's why they have dress codes.
There's etiquette to step onto the Wells Fargo Center
Connor,
court.
would you wear shorts to the Phillies press box today?
I would if it was warmer.
No, you wouldn't.
You're allowed.
No, they're going to send you out.
I've seen people in there with shorts.
They're going to send you.
I've worn shorts.
As a media member,
yes,
that's
in that
not,
press box.
There is. I will tell you today, count the media members in shorts.
Well, I'm not going to not do it.
They won't.
So
they
I'm not
won't
going
be.
up there.
They won't be.
Yeah, but they're not going to kick you out. I've seen multiple people in there with
shorts. They will literally look at you going, dude, what are you doing? You're working.
I have worn golf, not like the ones I'm wearing now. I've worn golf shorts with
and they will
polo.
and you can count you will not see it because there's an etiquette of how you dress.
Okay, but you said there's a rule.
I will tell you. They will be like, "What are you doing?"
I've never been.
What are you told?
Yeah, I've never seen them stop anybody.
Never been told to leave the press box.
I'm going to tell you can count on two hands the amount of people that ever do it in a year.
People not doing it versus people being allowed to do it are different things.
The people who work cameras and stuff like that do it. The people who are there as media members to sit in the press box, they do not wear shorts. If they do, they are the absolute oddball out of.
Then I guess I'm an oddball.
Yeah. That is, or you just don't care, and that's fine. Just say you don't care. But there is an etiquette about how you present yourself. That's not how you present yourself.
This is a wild hill to die on.
Super Bowl champion Nick Sirianni has zero etiquette. How dare he?
I think what happened is they were looking at Nick Sirianni and they were like, man, this guy annoys us. We know the league circles, some coaches don't like him.
Do you think they had a group text without Nick?
They called him the night before. They said, Nick, just so we're sure, we're all going shorts. He's like, all right, I got you. He rolls up. And he's like, hey, what the hell?
I like that theory.
Could be.
They lured him into it.
They set our guy up.
And then they tell us.
By the way, this week, Phillies Dodgers. You got to get through the series with the Rockies first. You better take 2 or 3 or else. At least 2 or 3.
John, I don't think it's one of our Twitter followers here saying, John, I don't think you're out of line, but I do think it's not a big deal what Nick Sirianni did. But when 99% of the people do things one way and 1% of the people do it another and then tell you, what's the big deal about it? They'll never understand. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. They'll never understand. They're like, what are you talking about? What's the big deal? There's no big deal when you have no stand.
John, you better show up to opening day in a 3-piece suit like it's the 1930s today.
I'm showing up to opening day.
Shirt underneath
I
his
have
jersey.
a collared shirt. I have dress slacks, and I have shoes on. I don't have sneakers. I'm showing up like I do every time I sit in the press box.
I need better out of you.
It's going to work.
I need a tie.
It's work. You don't have to do that. It's work.
All right.
Show up like a grown-up.
Are you going to try to make Roki Sasaki cry?
Oh, boy. Here we go.
So yesterday,
this is going to be popular.
Roki Sasaki, who was the big international signing that the Dodgers had this past offseason. He's 23 years old. What's his birthday? November.
He's 23.
So he's not turned 24 till November.
He's a grown man.
Yeah, I got you.
And he's been a grown man for 18 years, since 18.
I was going to say 18 years.
5 years.
My God.
It's been since he was 18.
So Roki Sasaki has had a rough start to his major league career. Remember, they opened up overseas back on March 19th where he only went 3 innings, walked 5, struck out 3, allowed just 1 earned run, just 1 hit, but he had 5 walks, so the pitch count skyrocketed. He pitched again this past weekend on the 29th. Where he only went an inning and 2/3, walked 4, allowed 3 hits, 2 earned runs. So his ERA to start his major league career, very anticipated major league career, is 5.79. He's only pitched 4 2/3 innings in his 2 starts. There was a shot of him in the dugout after he got pulled because a lot of guys go to the dugout and then they don't hit the showers until the inning's over. They watch how the rest of the inning plays out.
Watch how the inning goes and then go.
There was a shot of him, and it looked as if he may have been crying.
Looked as if? Come on now. He
could have been sweating.
You're skewing it now.
I'm not.
Sweating isn't in your eyes.
You could sweat in your eye.
No.
All right.
His eyes.
So,
he was crying.
So you are going to say, for the sake of the show, that he was crying.
No, I'm not saying it for the sake of the show. They even say it in the broadcasters. He's crying.
All right. So coming up next, we're going to get into a human element discussion about whether or not you feel for the guy. This highly anticipated player going to the Dodgers, by the way, major market, and looking horrible in his first 2 starts to the point where tears are coming out of his eyes. We'll discuss that coming up next. Also, we will preview this upcoming Phillies-Rockies series that should lead to at least 2 wins. And oh, by the way, not that we're looking at the division standings already, pile up these wins now.
And while you can.
Because the Bravos had a horrible start to the season, which we should celebrate. We'll discuss that all next. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports update.
Phils win the series in Washington. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies took 2 out of 3 down in the nation's capital against the Nationals over the weekend. Next up, the home opener today at 3:05 p.m. Phils are starting their home slate against the Colorado Rockies with Christopher Sanchez on the bump. He's facing off against German Marquez. Marquez, a righty, so that means you should expect to see Kyle Schwarber in the leadoff spot today. Todd Zielecki talked about that Friday, the flip-flopping of the lineup.
I also think that Rob has talked to these guys and said, listen, would you guys be willing to be a little bit flexible early in the season? And I think Trey Turner for sure said yes, and I think Kyle Schwarber for sure said yes.
So, seems like the players are on board. Now, it may not have been a decision up for grabs today, as Trey Turner had back spasms that kept him out of the final 2 games in Washington, and he may get another day off today with an off day coming tomorrow for the whole team. JT Realmuto also missed the final game in the National Series after fouling a ball off his foot. There's a chance he could be available for today's game, so we'll keep you updated on those guys' statuses. The Sixers fell to the Raptors last night, 127-109. They play the Knicks tomorrow night. Flyers play the Predators tonight at 7. You can hear that game live here on The Fanatic. And it sounds like momentum is growing to try and ban the tush push. We'll keep you updated on the future of those discussions. This update's brought to you by Moyer Indoor Outdoor Services. Follow Andrew Salciunas' lead and get a jump on a lush green lawn this spring right now. Go to eMoyer.com for free estimates. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the 76ers and Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
926, Kincade Salciunas, 97.5. The Fanatic on this championship Monday morning, presented to us by Pierce Phelps, Bryant Heating and Air Conditioning Contractors. Visit nopaybryant.com. Did you fire? Oh, well, you weren't home.
What was that?
Would Saturday have been AC day for you? Or Windows? Because it did get to 79 at one point.
No.
Yeah, we didn't turn anything on.
First of all, our house is like so. They make them now. It was built in 21.
Right.
They now make them where they have to pass 99-point-something% air tightness.
Okay. Interesting.
So when your house is cool inside, it stays pretty cool for a while. But it also
That's
gets
why you need
cold.
those Window Nation windows.
Exactly. You got to have that.
And
but
door.
It's cold. It's cold, though. So, I mean, it's like it stays cooler. But no. I like opening up the back door because we have a screen porch.
Yeah, you get the air in.
You get the air in. On a day like that, that's what we would have done.
I was talking to Ray.
You had the air conditioner on already?
No. I was wondering, because you keep your house cold. Like, what, 60?
Christina keeps the heat at 60.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Which I think is psychopathic.
That's why I was wondering if it was an AC day.
I think it's
for you.
psychopathic. No, but the thing is, though, she doesn't want the air conditioning that bad, which is just, it makes no sense.
Yeah, you guys, that's weird.
But in winter, she likes to keep it at 60.
Yeah. Backwards house.
I went window open for the first time this
How'd you
weekend.
like that?
Well, it was nice because I've lived in my apartment for 3 years, and I just found out about 4 months ago that I can open the window.
What do you mean?
I didn't realize the window opened.
Is it a giant window?
It's one of the big, like, floor-to-ceiling
Okay,
windows.
but does it have a side thing, or does it have
No, the latch is at the bottom, and you can't see it under, like, the sill.
Okay,
And it was
so how
ground
far
level.
can you open it?
It opens, like, halfway. Like,
Okay.
So halfway.
You couldn't fall out of it, meaning...
No.
Right.
Well, there's a screen, so if I got on my hands and knees, and the Phillies had a rough game, but I took like 2+ years to figure out the windows open in my apartment.
Well, now you got open window.
Yeah, so it was nice. This was the first warm day.
All right. Phillies Dodgers later this week. They could be facing Roki Sasaki, who had his 2 bad starts. So, do you feel bad at all, Johnny?
This is incredible.
I'm asking the question.
No, I'm totally heartless on this, so bring it on.
So again, if you guys missed it, he got pulled yesterday early once more, and there was a camera shot that caught him what looks like crying in the dugout. And I don't feel empathy either. I'll be honest. Like, you're a professional athlete.
I mean, he's crying.
But even before the show, Connor was doing the whole, well, listen, he's 23. He's in a brand new, he did move across the world.
What does the 23 mean?
What do you mean? He's young.
Okay. He's 23. He's a grown man making tens of millions. He's been a professional athlete now for 5 years.
Yeah, but he's not worried about his financial
So what is he?
issues.
So why is he crying?
He's upset that he disappointed his team, maybe his family, maybe all the eyes, maybe himself.
He can't handle failure.
Well,
That's bad. That would scare me.
He's getting used to it.
But I would say is that first of all, he's been in professional baseball a long time.
Yeah, but you got to remember, this dude didn't play in the minors. He didn't come over here and ride the bus to Altoona. Like, he was professional there.
Right.
He was probably really damn good there.
Which
probably
is, by
played
the
on
way,
good teams.
they are very wild about their baseball over there.
No, I know, but
they are very critical about their baseball, just like we are.
I'm saying he didn't go through the typical, like, major league process of, okay, you understand what it's like to cut your teeth, and you go through all these trials and tribulations of what the minor leagues have. Like, this may be the most adversity he's ever faced. Some guys go through it from a humbling standpoint of riding the bus to wherever. But at 23, not that he's getting paid crazy because he's on the minor league deal because the way everything's set up with his contract, but he's on a team that's expected to set like the major league wins record. He's playing with a guy who he probably idolized before he came over in Shohei Ohtani.
Okay.
And for a player like that, it's probably an emotional thing.
You know why? And I was glad to see over the weekend that the Phillies players confirmed it, that the daycare's over.
Yes. Oh,
because
dude, I love
there's
that.
a certain point where enough of the kid stuff.
Bryson Stott literally said we were told to grow up.
Exactly. By Bryce Harper, by the way.
Yeah.
Was the guy who told him.
Oh, yeah,
So
that's why I celebrate what he said. I celebrated on Friday.
Hey, man, God forbid the players have any fun the other day. I'm like, I was so happy not to see the seed bath and when they have a big walk-off win,
different.
Clown around. Yeah. That's different, excitement. But what I would tell you on this one, Connor, is this is the exact same behavior that the Phillies clubhouse didn't appreciate of Alec Bohm. Grown men do not want to have to take other grown men and go, come on, buddy, it's okay.
Well, and now
you'll be all right.
And here's
they
the
don't
big
want to
thing.
do that. And by the way, he acted the same way after his first outing. When he got pulled out of the first outing, he acted like someone his dog died and had to have 3 players, like sort of, come on, buddy, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's a red flag to
also
other professionals.
when you play for the Dodgers. Now, you can maybe get away with this if you're playing for the Colorado Rockies, right?
Because everybody's bad?
Well, yeah, nobody really cares, right?
Right.
But if you're playing, Dodgers fans are rabid, just like we are, right? You're playing for a rabid fan base, and you're the big off-season addition. Even though the Dodgers are ridiculous and they're coming off of winning the World Series, there's still excitement surrounding this major addition. And if he can't handle the big lights to the point where he's already shedding tears, that is a red flag. Now, look, he could end up settling in. I have his numbers from when he pitched professionally in Japan. As a 19-year-old, he had a 1.84 ERA in 16 starts, a 2.02 ERA as a 20-year-old in 20 starts, a 1.78 ERA as a 21-year-old in 15 starts, and then last year, 2.35 ERA in 18 starts as a 22-year-old. So this guy's known nothing but success professionally. But that doesn't mean as soon as you face adversity, you could start crying.
And you can't do it you got to compose yourself.
Yeah,
you're a grown man. You have to, and you're a professional. And more importantly, other professionals don't want to have to sit there and coddle you on a bench. It's why Alec Boehm was having problems with his teammates last year.
Yes. Now, Alec Boehm was having problems with his teammates last year, 27 or 28 years old, after multiple years in professional baseball, after being a National League All-Star starter at third base, after having success.
And he is the odd one standing out.
No,
because
I got you.
We've never had to deal with this with the Phillies.
I understand. I'm just saying, listen, 23 and 27, 28 is a world of difference, especially when you're from a totally different country. You don't speak the language. There's a lot of pressure on the kid. If I'm a teammate, I'm telling him, yo, figure it out. But as an outside observer, I can understand why the emotions are where they are.
A few votes in. Jeff Kerr, CBS Sports, big listener to the show.
Yes.
It's never okay to wear shorts in a press box. Not even at spring training.
Jeff Kerr goes 60 in the left lane.
Andrew DeCecco of 97.5 The Fanatic.
He's a football guy. It's different.
It is not okay to wear shorts in a press box. It's a privilege to go to work and cover a game, dress for the occasion. Just saying. You guys, you're like, why is it a big deal? Because it's a deal.
Yeah, but
because
also,
it's a thing.
Hang on. The press box argument is a bogarting of the conversation to prove your point. We're talking about a coach.
Yeah, Nick Sirianni.
No, I got you. But then the press box thing, you also both jumped me on that.
No,
I'm telling you, every media member will side with me.
I am telling you that I have. You said you can't do it. I have done it.
You could do it if you want to, but I'm telling you right there, other media members are going, what the hell are you doing?
That's fine.
It's work.
John, other media members listen to our show every day and go, what the hell are they doing?
Well, that's the truth too, Connor. You're making a good point
listen,
there.
Sometimes you're going to be the odd one.
I'm also not the Big J journalist over here.
Yeah, but you're not wearing shorts in the press box. Please don't do that.
I have.
But
I'm
they're saying,
just telling you, I have.
I might today.
Oh, jeez.
Do it.
The shortest shorts
and Connor will wear his shorts too.
We're wearing the 4-inch
I will say, I don't do the 4-inch seams.
Connor's been known to wear he's wearing his chubbies.
I do have some decorum. I go to the knee if I'm in the press box.
Connor's got his chubbies on.
What are you, a 2000s basketball player? Wearing shorts to the knee.
Well, it's the golf shorts, you know.
Yes,
I have some decorum.
Wear your golf shorts to the knee, please.
Some decorum, that's all. Yes. All right, Phillies, Rockies. We'll talk more about this coming up next, but they should take 2 of 3. Kyle Freeland's okay. And that's their game 2 starter. But other than that, I mean, Marquez stinks. After having the bad offensive performance that you had yesterday, whatever. We'll take a look at some bets coming up next.
Not to mention Christopher Sanchez was the top pitcher in baseball last year on his home field.
Yeah, today's a
ERA.
Team total over and runs, and you take the -1.5. They better beat the doors off of the Rockies today. If not, the season's over.
And you're expecting him to take great care of the Rockies lineup too for you, which is nice.
Yeah, they stink.
Christopher, do your job, baby.
Yeah, come on, man.
They win the first 2 games of this series.
And if you have a
CT18 guarantee?
No, but I'm telling you it's going to happen.
And if you have a bad outing, don't cry.
Yeah.
Don't cry.
Hold on a second. This is a loophole. I'm telling you it's going to happen, but I won't guarantee you that it's going to
exactly.
happen.
No, that doesn't
Remember
count.
this whole Giants thing? I told you this was going to be the breakout game, but he didn't guarantee it.
No, I
guarantee
didn't.
it.
Listen, you can
There it
have
is.
the guarantee is not everything. The guarantee is it's a nice, beautiful treat to get a CT guarantee, but they don't come out every day. Then it's not as special when they do.
All right, coming up next, we got our key three best minutes from today's show. We'll check out our text line as well, and we'll give you some bets for today because it's the home opener, man. Let's go. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic. We want to hear from you, so text us at 610-632. Here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic. So Phil's Rockies today, game 1, 3 o'clock start. I did not realize. This is something I missed. I did not realize that Mickey Moniak's resurgence in Major League Baseball will have to resume with the Colorado Rockies. I did not know that they picked him up.
Yeah, he got released and then re-signed.
Well, yeah, because the Angels didn't want to pay him the salary. They had to do it by a certain day because he's not that good of a baseball player. But Mickey Moniak is on the Colorado Rockies, so maybe we see him. He will not play today, I guarantee you, at least as a starter, because he can't hit left-handed pitching, and Christopher Sanchez is on the mound for the Phillies. By the way, I looked it up. The Rockies averaging 10 strikeouts a game. The starters for the Rays, 8 Ks in the opening day start, 7 in the game 2 start, 7 in the game 3 start. Christopher Sanchez's
22,
over-under is 5.5.
Over.
Just saying, the 3 starters totaled
22, 7
8,
a
7,
game.
and 7.
7 a game.
Yeah.
That's good.
I cooked up a little parlay.
Get on there. You like that? What did you? I've already done the Sanchez over strikeouts.
Yep, 5.5.
I've already done the Phillies -1.5.
I have the Phillies -1.5.
I did another one.
What do we got?
It's on a certain player named Nick Castellanos.
2+ bases.
Nick Castellanos 2+ bases.
That's what I have.
Kyle Schwarber 2+ bases.
That's what I have.
Really? You serious?
Yes. Because
Okay,
I think Schwarber goes yard, but I'm afraid
Schwarber.
I'm a coward. So.
Schwarber and Castellanos 2+ bases. Bryce Harper with a hit.
Oh, I have 2+ bases for Harper.
I did not.
Right.
I didn't get gutsy with Harper. If we
Dude, so we're really close.
and we did not organize that. I promise.
That's awesome. Yeah, I have Phil's -1.5. Harper, Schwarber, Castellanos 2+ bases. Sanchez over in strikeouts. Now the one I do I have one more.
I do not.
Over team total runs 4.5.
I did not do that.
I
would think that sounds good.
I think they go to town on Mark.
There we go.
And plus, the Rockies stink, so their bullpen's not good either. So I'm not doing the first 5 innings run total. Now, I could do that as well, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to do
Marquez
over 4.5.
is kind of weird. Like, when he's good, he's real good. He's just not good consistently.
When does that happen?
He was the National League Pitcher of the Month before in his career.
Was he?
Yeah. So he has moments, but he's just not been consistent at all for him. So, listen, the problem with the Rockies in this series is they're not going to score off Sanchez and they're not going to score off Wheeler. Like, if they score more than 3 runs in either of these first 2 games, I'll be shocked. Shocked.
Okay.
I like your thought process, Connor.
Yeah, I love that we're on the same boat here.
I like Scotty goes and looks at the picture of Sirianni and says, which is pretty cool. He goes, first of all, what is that between his feet? Which I didn't notice. He's got something between his feet in the picture. And he says, and can't he get a golf shirt that fits? It looks like he went to the outlets and got the cheapest Nike half shirt rack.
I think that's a hat between his feet.
You think it is? I like
did you take the foot hat off for the photo?
I like by the way, I'm a big outlets guy. So if Nick Sirianni shops at the outlets, I'm a big outlets guy. So I'm all in support of that anytime you want.
That's good. You also told me a little bit of news during the break
the Browns are coming. The Browns announced, and Zach Berman of The Athletic, Zach Berman, formerly of The Athletic and Philly Sports, brings up that the Browns are coming in for the in-camp
joint
practices, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Were they here last year?
I thought it was the Patriots.
Patriots, they used to do the Patriots a lot. I thought last year was the Browns.
Jets?
No, because remember the photo with Howie and Myles Garrett, and everybody was like, "Oh, is there something here?"
I'm not sure if I remember that.
Well, you know who brokered this deal? Kenny Pickett.
I could very well be.
Yeah, come on.
By the way,
Kenny
that's
wanted to
probably.
come back.
By the way, Stefanski, I think you said earlier, he's in favor of keeping the tush push.
He's absolutely said.
So
he does not
maybe
believe
Browns Eagles have a nice relationship.
He doesn't believe it should be banned, and that's because he doesn't sit like Connor. He doesn't sit, which was one of the revelations of the show today.
Yeah, Connor sits when he pees.
Connor enjoys a good
tired.
sit when he pees.
But you're right. You're right. It was the Patriots this past year.
Yeah, I thought
was
it
it
was
the
Patriots.
Browns 2 years? Because they used to do the Patriots a lot. I don't know. What do I know? All right, what do we have on the text line, Connor, about our discussions today?
All right, we have a check-in here from Ryan K. from the Northeast. And he says, on the Aaron Nola conversation we had earlier, it always seems to be that Nola lets up too many runs every game, every year. But there are those performances where he's letting up maybe a few hits a game. The Phillies are always hitting the ball more when he's on the bump. So we've had people saying Aaron Nola doesn't get enough run support. And now we're having Ryan K. from the Northeast who's saying Nola only wins because the team hits when he pitches. What are we doing with this fan base right now?
I don't understand. To me, when Aaron Nola, 60% of his starts, more than that, actually a little more, as a Philadelphia Philly, have been of a really good quality with a chance to win. More than that, 2 out of 3 times you get a good outing where you have a chance to win. I'm shocked at the whole attitude towards Nola.
All right.
And I can absolutely, though, the people who argue that Nola is the greatest thing, I can absolutely.
Yeah, look, he frustrates me.
Right.
Connor and I have had these conversations. You and I have had these.
But frustration's fair.
Like
That's fair.
He's not Wheeler, where I go, wheels up, the Phils are going to win or be in the best position possible to win today. I don't have that confidence with
correct.
Aaron Nola, but that doesn't mean I don't respect him as a pitcher.
Right.
His career ERAs by season. So to the guy's text about how they only win when he scores runs. So his rookie year, 3.59 ERA. Then it's a 4.78. So it was pretty bad in year 2. 3.54, 2.37 when he was the third voter for Cy Young. 3.87, 3.28, 4.63, 3.25, 4.46, 3.57. His career is a 3.72 ERA. That's good. In Major League Baseball,
That is good.
that's very good. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it. You got to listen to the smart baseball voices on 97.5 The Fanatic who say stuff like this.
Aaron Nola is an ace. There you go.
See?
I said it for money. I said it for money for the AACR, and I'll do it again.
That's good.
I'll
That's
say
good
it
work
again.
by you, man.
I'll say it again. If you want me to, I don't have a cameo, but if you'd like me to say something for you for money,
For money, sure.
for charity,
That's correct.
I would do that.
All right, it's time now for the Kincade Salciunas Key 3 best minutes from today's show.
Now, the Kincade Salciunas Key 3. Today's best.
Johnny, welcome back.
Welcome to the second opening day.
Yes, home opener today.
Home opener.
Weather looks like it's going to be good, we think.
So just like gusty winds and tornado warnings coming up around dinner time.
That's all, as long as the rain doesn't hit till post-game. They don't cancel games because of wind. What is your personal percentage of just enjoying a Phillies game and the ride of this season versus the angst of how it's going to finish? Because here's the deal. We do recognize the issues that have hurt this team over the last couple of years. And yeah, they ran it back. And I'm not thrilled that they ran it back with this lineup.
No.
There are things about this lineup that I don't like. I feel the same angst when Aaron Nola's out there every once in a while, even though he has been consistently on the mound for you week in and week out throughout his entire career as a member of the Phillies. And he'll go down as one of the more celebrated Phillies pitchers, at least statistically, in the history of the franchise. But what is your own personal percentage of, hey, I'm enjoying the game. You went to the game on Saturday. I'm enjoying this season. They're going to be a good ball club. But when you watch and you see similar issues unfold over the course of the season that have hurt them in the playoffs the last couple of years, how much will you let that be on your mind?
Oh, it's going to bother me. The Kyle Schwarber running the base paths stupidly Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
First batter. The first freaking batter. He's testing one of the better arms in baseball in right field. He's waddling around the base paths.
He's trying to steal bags like Kyle.
No, but
that's not your game, man.
No, but he hits one to the wall and then gets thrown out by 2 feet.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. So that kind of stuff bothers me because I constantly am being told by the Phillies, we're changing what we do poorly. We're taking a different approach. I think they've been more selective at the plate. So I'm going to say maybe they're listening to some of it and not listening to others. It annoys the crap out of me in the moment. It doesn't annoy me enjoying the game or enjoying the whole baseball season. I think the Phillies' stupid base running and maybe Aaron Nola, throwing up the clunker like every third time out.
Yep.
That's sort of the rock in my shoe, the pebble in the shoe, that you can still walk. It's still in,
but it's there. It's bothering
man,
you.
it's a nudge. It's there. I certainly don't let it affect I hear the Aaron Nola stuff. Like, okay, Aaron Nola, I know this. He's not a wimp sitting out games,
Right.
I was packing a box and I have to miss a game. Aaron Nola's not doing that crap.
Training.
Aaron Nola's not doing that crap.
Spring training.
Yeah, please. 2 injuries at home in spring training.
Oh,
no, don't need it.
It is amazing that this is actually a story. I don't understand how this has become a story. It really should be. It's weak. It is weak of teams. You got the New York Yankees using the torpedo bat, right? But it's not illegal. I hear more bitching about the tush push than the torpedo bat. And one is a yard, another is a run.
Well, we've gotten, 3 or 4 games of the torpedo bats?
I know, but
people are going to get upset.
I saw one tush. No, when the Eagles first started doing the tush push, you start hearing this isn't a football play argument.
I'm not giving up on Nola.
No, I know you're not. You're just giving him a grade
and
for
I know
that.
that if Nola has 30 starts, 22 of them we're going to walk away and go, yeah, it was pretty good. He gave him a chance to win. So I'm very happy with that. I'll be okay. I'm not going to get excited about one game.
Yeah, Aaron Nola's line on his first start of the season, 5 1/3 innings pitched. He allowed 5 earned runs, 6 hits, struck out 8, didn't walk anybody. But this is a Nola issue. He's around the zone, around the zone, right? 8 strikeouts is great.
Yeah.
No walks is great until you go to the second time through the order. It was 3 games, and there was a lot of activity on social media.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily funny at times. I laughed at a lot of the things because sometimes I just have to laugh at some of the crazy things that are tweeted out there. But there are people that are legitimately upset, including an email that I got yesterday, Johnny.
Oh, boy.
So, coming up next, I have an email regarding Aaron Nola's first start of the season. And if this is how it's going to go after one start, it's going to be a very long season for a lot of people out there. All right, that's the Kincade Salciunas Key 3 best minutes from today's show.
It's a good show today. A lot of fun.
Right,
a lot of weird stuff today, though, too, which is good. It's opening day.
Yeah, we're starting to get into that late spring, summer thing
I'm
where
so excited.
we go off the rails occasionally.
I am so excited. I am so excited to
Don't say that.
down.
Scott's listening. Come on, man.
Nah, but like every once in a while, it's okay. We're
right.
focused on our main stuff.
Damn
right.
And look, we focused. It was a good weekend for the Phillies, despite some of the conversations we have had with people on social media.
Bad weekend.
They went 2-1.
And a bad weekend for the Braves.
Yeah, we never got to that.
So at 0-4, I like that.
That's why you need to start piling up some wins, because eventually Acuna's going to be back, and eventually Strider's going to be back. And we said before last week when opening day happened, the Braves are going to lose games early on, and you've said they have to be in first place by what, May 12th?
Memorial Day, which is May 12th.
I'm
sorry, after Mother's Day, May 12th.
Love that.
Because you got to take advantage of the other team's bad schedule. And what I was pointing out, Dodgers go out and beat the Braves 4 times. Padres.
Yeah.
Now they play the Dodgers for 3.
Yeah.
At LA.
And they're without their best pitcher, and they're without their best player. They're 0-4 right now.
Good luck for you.
Yeah,
good luck.
love
We're all counting on you. Keep losing. Hey, join us and our generous partner, H&H Heating and Air Conditioning. Joe Hoke was at the game in D.C. yesterday. Make a donation to the AACR, 975thefanatic.com/AACR, because cancer research saves lives.
All right, the Mike Missinelli Show is coming your way next. Ray Dunn had a good time in D.C.
Good. I did not see Ray while we were down there. He was in the other seats.
Yes.
I saw Jeff from D.C., though. He was in the schwanky seats.
Yes. I told Ray we talked to him last week about how great of a stadium it is.
It's a great stadium.
And how cool it is around the stadium. I think when the Battery, as you've been talking about, happens around here.
Oh, it's going to kick it.
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be
They're going to make so much money.
You're going to love it, and they build them with the patios upstairs and downstairs. It's going to be
like
awesome.
People think what we have now, just because the stadiums are close to each other, is like cool. It's not.
No, it's going to be really
You wait
awesome.
till they actually have stuff to do around the ballpark and the stadium and the arena.
Well, it is cool, but it's going to be a lot cooler.
No, it's going to be. I'm telling you right now, it's not my favorite area.
People will come early and stay late.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
And that's what Wrigley has. That's what Boston has.
It's going to be so much fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day. We'll be back at it tomorrow here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
2 out of 3 from the Nats. I'm Connor Thomas, and that's what the Philadelphia Phillies took in their opening series down in Washington. Next up, the home opener. The Phils take on the Rockies.